Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it going, Tom. We've been waiting on this one, dog. We have been waiting on this one, dog. They got Roger Goodell running out here in the beach cruiser? He's in the beach cruiser? Roger Goodell's, he's driving a bike onto the court? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, man. I'm waiting for this thing to fire up, man. Fire me up, dog. Come on, man. Yo, we in here. Oh, they said the podcast is going, man. We might as well just go. Let's go. We are here. Welcome back to the Coach's Huddle. It's your boy, the coach, with Tom Jensen. We got a couple of technical difficulties, but we're going to keep rolling with the punches. Right now, I'm looking at myself online. It's saying that we are necessarily hooked up. Got to see if we're hooked up the right way, Tom. Right now, doesn't look like we are.
Huh, okay.
It says right now that we're syncing. I don't know what in the heck is going on, brother.
We need to reboot. What do we need to do?
I don't know. Let me get out and come back in. Hey.
Okay.
We're in here, back at it, ready to go.
Okay. Whatever it takes. Coach.
It got crazy, whatever it takes, dog. Hey, right now we are back. Welcome back. It's your boy, the coach. Welcome back to the Coach's Huddle. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We are back. I'm here with my man, 10 grand. And you know what, Tom? You about to get a hell of an experience today. You ain't never did no live show with me. Now I got somebody in here, dog. Hey, I got the Brindle Wi-Fi. It's a little, it can't block. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we live up in here, dog. Tennessee is coming up. They're supposed to be first on the clock. Tom, talk to me, dog. How do you feel?
Loving it. This is always an exciting day. Yeah, this is one of the most important drafts of this regime. They've got to get this pick right.
Right. Got to get it right, dog. Got to get it right. They got Lil Wayne up here. They got Roger Goodell on the field, on the stage right now. He rode a bike out. Lil Wayne, he got the cheese head without the cheese head on with the blonde dreads right now. We got a whole bunch of randoms talking. Tom, how do you feel about the draft? It's finally time.
It's here. It's been a long time coming, but now that it's here, it's an exciting day. We got some great stuff ahead of us.
Hey, man, it's time. Hey, look, this is what happened, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, I started the stream, but I was so excited to get going that we completely bungled the opening. But that's okay, man.
We're here.
Right now, they're sitting here going through the festivities of the draft. And look, it's time, bro. They haven't started the clock yet. They got all of the guys that are ready to get drafted. How do you feel about them getting the show started? They haven't started it yet.
They're always making these things into productions. Pretty soon it's going to be like the Super Bowl halftime show is going to be the NFL draft. They're going to have entertainment guests and the whole bit.
Tennessee's on the clock.
Here we go.
Let's go. So look, we're already thinking that Cam Ward's supposed to be the guy, right? You know what I'm saying?
The shit's chess, it ain't checkers.
It's supposed to be chess, it ain't checkers, baby. We're supposed to be handling business. Hey, how do you feel about Tennessee taking Cam Ward number one? Do you think that that's going to be a deal? You think that's it?
Well, I think it's the right move in this draft, given the team needs and what they need to do to get things started. They're building a brand new palace in Nashville, and one of the best ways to open a new building is to get a new quarterback and build excitement around your team. So it makes sense to me is that they've got to lay their foundation, and this is the first building block for them. Cam Ward, great player.
Right.
He's got some issues. He's basically another Jordan Love. He can make every throw, but some of those throws are ego throws, and he can get himself in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cam Ward, we already know, came in, took the college world by storm, transferring from Washington State over to University of Miami, immediately became a leader, somebody that kind of seems like he's above it all. And I don't know. I don't know. One of the marks of a good quarterback is quarterbacks, in my opinion, that refuse to be rushed, Tom. And they always seem to be in control, just have an upside. I know that he has a ceiling, but sometimes he's a little too cool for school, man. I don't know exactly if he's going to translate right away. I mean, I know that you can't ask for where you're drafted at, and you can't pick your own class. But is Cam Ward getting a little bit of a push just because this seems to be a little bit of a shaky and uneven quarterback class this year?
Yeah, if this was last year's draft, there's no way he goes number one. He would go bottom half of the top 10, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just this is a very weak quarterback class, and he's a good one. He's just not a great one. And
right.
Therefore, it's going to take him some time. I don't think that he's going to be able to hit the ground running the way that, say, Jaden Daniels did in Washington this year. I don't think that's going to happen for them. But Cam can learn, and he's got a good ceiling. He just needs to get some good coaching.
I think that's going to be something for him. I mean, if they select him, it'll be a hell of a get for them. You know what I mean? And I believe in what they're doing. I believe in what they're doing in Tennessee. I think that, they've tried their best to get the quarterback to move forward in the future. Marcus Mariota in previous years, moving down into other things that they've done, especially losing on Mike Vrabel. They tried at one time. What's the kid, Malik Washington, the quarterback that they picked up? And
yeah, that was a cameo.
Yeah, the Will Levis and the Malik Washington kind of experience. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll tell you what really hurts them is that, I don't know, it's like, is Tennessee in a position where they can just kind of set it and forget it with this kid?
Well, that's what they're hoping, but I don't think that's realistic. I think that you're going to have to coach him up. You're going to have to build a team around him. He has the skills, but he has to learn to keep his ego in check and protect the football more.
Right.
He played Cal in Berkeley, and he threw 2 pick sixes in that game. They were lucky to win it. But give him credit that he led them down the field for the game-winning score at the end of the game. So he still managed the game as far as getting the win, but it never should have come to that. And that's the danger of Cam Ward, is that he's the gift and the curse at the same time. So you have to coach him out of the curse and get him to gift mode.
Could we be seeing a surprise here? We're looking at the needs of what Tennessee has. Obviously, quarterback is top of the list, but they need an edge. Abdul Carter's right there. They need a receiver. I don't foresee anybody at receiver getting picked up at all. But they also need a linebacker and a safety, all of which guys that are way outside of the top 5. Do they trade out? Do they really just stand pat? I mean, let's take a look at some of the drafted players that they had last year. First round last year, pick 7. Tennessee picked up J.C. Latham out of Alabama, and they obviously went ahead and got their forever player at tackle. Now, J.C. struggled a little bit coming into this year, but you can see that they definitely have built the infrastructure to try to move forward with getting a pass catcher. So, I mean, they've kind of prepared for him. Is this kind of a moot point, or is this a moot point, or is there really going to be some fireworks this early into the draft?
I think it's a moot point, because what's your alternative? You're still going to need a quarterback if you don't take Cam Ward.
Right.
And average as he may be relative to other years, he's the best option they've got in this draft. And I think because of that, they're probably not going to get the kind of offer they would like to get. And they would look to past years and say, look how much people gave up to get to the top 3 in year X.
All
But
right, guys.
this year, because the quarterbacks are so weak, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. All right. So right now, they're saying that the pick is in. They didn't even wait the full 10 minutes to get the pick in. They're saying, well, I don't know. So, I mean, this is the thing about the pick, man. Once the pick comes in, what really sucks about this, Tom, is the pick coming in, and it's still like that extra 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the pick coming in.
Right.
But right now, it's looking like, hey, what they got right now is the Tennessee Titans have selected Cam Ward with their
solid piece for them. I don't have any concerns about Latham developing, but that team's incomplete. There's a reason they're drafting first. So they've got a lot of weapons that they're going to have to put around Ward. But if they do, they've got a chance to be a decent team this year. I think they won't be looking at the number 1 pick again next year, for example.
Yep, Cam Ward. So, look, it looks pretty good. We definitely going to take the silence away. I'll fix that next time, guys. But look, got you. I got you, Alan. So one thing that we have to just make sure that we realize is that we knew this pick was coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We knew this pick was coming. How do you feel about it, Tom? Is this something that you just kind of already saw? Or, Ward, do you really care about it?
Well, it's what they should do. It's what basically fell to them because of who was in this draft and what quarterbacks you had.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see.
I got to be honest, man. The draft is kind of like weak. They got like this old riverboat gambler music playing in the background. It's a little weak, bro.
What is this? Disneyland? What is this?
I don't know, man. But they got like it's I don't know, the walk all out to the stadium. Let me just build the stage. Hold on, wait a minute. Tom, already in. We've got a trade, dog. Tom, we have got a trade. Right now, Jacksonville has traded up to the number 2 pick overall.
Okay.
What do you think Jacksonville's coming to go do? They're going to go get Abdul Carter, no?
Travis Hunter is the higher ranked player. He could help them more in some ways. Jacksonville has talented edges. Their need was defensive tackle. So they could be looking at Hunter. But this is a new GM and a new coach, and we'll see what they're doing. But I would imagine with Liam Cohen that they're looking at Hunter and they're looking at him as a wide receiver. They want to get a weapon for Trevor Lawrence.
Jacksonville. The Browns get the 2nd round pick, the 4th round pick. Oh my God. The Jags get the 2nd overall pick, the 4th round pick, and the 6th round pick. The Browns get the 5th overall pick, the 2nd round pick, the 3rd overall pick. Jags are up.
Okay. I think it's Hunter because the rumors out of Jacksonville were they were looking for weapons. And a lot of people were saying point blank, Jacksonville wants touchdowns.
Right.
And that's what you could get out of Hunter. Because I think they've got a solid pair of edges. They're not the best in the world, but they're good. You don't need Abdul Carter on this team. You need Travis Hunter.
Right. I mean, the biggest thing that you got to understand with this is that, Travis is, class personified, bro. There's nobody that you're going to find that's going to be somebody that's going to give you everything that you need. He's going to, on top of giving you everything that you need, he's for sure going to play on both sides of the ball. And I'll tell you this, I think he's more of a receiver than he is I think he's more of a receiver than he is a DB. What do you think they would do with Travis Hunter if they pick him up now?
Well, I think either whoever he goes to, I think he'll end up playing both, but it's a question of the team need dictating what's the lion's share of his role. In Jacksonville's case, I think that's wide receiver. There are other teams where if they picked Hunter, his main role would be a DB. So it depends on the team needs. But for Jacksonville, wide receiver. But he's such a talented DB that you need to have some packages for him too.
Definitely. It's somebody, I mean, look, what else can you do, man? If they want Travis Hunter, they want Travis Hunter, man. Abdul Carter, in my opinion, is a little overrated for the spot. Yeah. I wonder how far he's going to drop. I mean, I definitely think he'd be gone by the time we get to picking. But right now, the last time a team traded up into the top two of the player that wasn't a quarterback, it was when the Rams traded up for Orlando Pace in 97 draft.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now they're saying that the pick is in for Jacksonville. So we'll see if Travis Hunter is the pick. One thing that I will tell you about Travis Hunter is that there was a lot of stuff that translated in on that team in Colorado. But one thing I will tell you that I loved about Travis Hunter is that he absolutely saw the best of what the skill positions had to give out week in and week out. He was seeing the best receiver of every team that they faced every week, and he was seeing the best DB of every team that they faced every week. He's obsessed with football. I love his attitude, and he doesn't have to be this obsessed with football, right? This kid's already presumably a millionaire. He's got tons of money under him, and I love his approach to life and his approach to the game. I think that whoever gets him is really going to have to pay attention to what they use for him, right? But what do you do?
Tailored.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's if you're drafting Hunter, you are doing it with the thinking that he's going to play both spots.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not utilizing his value well.
Right.
So, I would say that, we're mainly going to make you a wide receiver, but, we're going to put you in when we need you. And
right.
He's also one of the best cover corners in this draft. So
I think he's the best corner and the best receiver in this year's draft. Yeah, I think both. It's easy enough to say that.
Both.
They're kind of coming up on it. The pick is in. The draft is kind of moving right now. I mean, don't look now, but we're already half past 10 minutes of the second pick. I mean, it feels like the Niners are right on here.
They're
so
not
I mean,
far away.
Look, man. So we're about to see exactly who they select, man. I mean, all right, so we got the first trade back, right? We got the first trade back of the draft, literally by the second pick. So I got a little bit of a theory, right? I got a little bit of a theory.
Let's hear it.
If everybody's moving back and we're desperate to get a guy, just push forward, man, or stand pat, right? Eric Armstead, man, what's up, Eric? Eric Armstead.
Okay, former Niner on stage.
Go ahead, boy. Looking good. Eric Armstead is on here talking with Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell is talking way too much right now.
He always does. You're not the star of the show, dude. Just let it happen.
I really don't. You know how each year the draft has a motif? Like each year the draft has like a theme, right? I could not tell you what this year's draft theme is. Hey, right now, here we go. With the second pick of the 2025 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select cornerback receiver Travis Hunter. Look, man, feels good to have him on, but you got to be able to see exactly what they were going to do. I like this pick, Tom. Tell me what you think.
To save his life. So, they're kind of saddled with that. And now you've got a new head coach, a new GM, and they said, okay, Trevor, we're going to go out and we're going to get you the most explosive talent in this draft. And I think that's a smart move.
Hey, you got to love what they did. They went ahead and picked up Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter goes number 2 overall to Jacksonville. Don't look now, but they're moving. We're looking at who's next up in the draft right now. The Giants are on the clock, dude. So Cam's gone, Travis is gone. How do you feel, Tom?
It's going chalk so far, except for the fact that it's Jacksonville making the pick at 2. But I like the aggressive move by them. I think that's something they needed to do. You've got a team that doesn't have stars. Go get one.
Right.
And that's one of the things I learned when I was covering the Niners back in the day. I would sit the press box Candlestick. I'd sit next to the advanced scout. And what they always told me with respect to the draft is go get greatness, get playmakers. That's what Jacksonville just did. So I love the move for them.
Yeah. I mean, I just want him to be, I just want him to protect them. You know what I'm saying? I just want him to be protected. If Travis Hunter comes in and does a good job with understanding exactly where he stands, I just want him to have a plan for him offensively. Right? One thing that I will tell you is that, oh my God, Pete, shut up. Pete just took all of my thunder. Mason Graham was slotted to go to Jacksonville. Right now, I think that Mason Graham is a little. I think he's a little overrated. You know what I'm saying? I do.
I agree.
I think he's a little overrated. I'll say it. I think he's overrated. I'm not a fan of bringing him on. Yeah, Manhattan John is exactly. We need to see another QB go. I think the Giants are going to take Ashton Jeanty. I think that,
Really?
Barkley being out of there. I think that would be a good pick for them. Now, if you're looking at what most of the experts say, a lot of people have Abdul Carter is going right there. I would say Abdul Carter would be awesome to take right there. That'd be an awesome pick. What do you think?
I think that Carter is the better value for the team in terms of what they need. They need to put some fear in opposing offenses. Carter can do that. And you would have a 3-man rotation together with Burns and Thibodeau, where you would have one of those guys is always going to be on the bench, and the other two are going to be going after it. You've got 3 very talented edges who are going to stay fresh. I think that's a good value for them, especially when you look at the NFC East, where you say we've got to go not just attack a quarterback, but chase him, because you've got Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. You got guys that you're going to need to go run down.
Well, right now, man, we're moving forward. Right now, we're trying to see what the Giants are going to do, man. Travis Hunter's off the board. Cam Ward's off the board. Abdul Carter would be it's a can't miss pick for them.
Yeah, but it's the Giants, so they can.
True.
They screwed it up before, but I think in this case, they knew what this would be, and it's The issue in New York is there are some people, especially ownership, that want Shadur.
Mm-hmm.
And Dayball is saying, no, I don't want Shadur. I want Carter. And so this is a power play internally to see who's really got the juice in New York, who's really making the call here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll end up being Carter. I think that Dayball still being the coach, he's going to say, this is the best move for our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they'll still go after a quarterback. They're rumored to be interested in Jackson Dart, but you can do that by moving into the late first or picking him with their second rounder. So I don't think they need to take Shadur here. I would go after Carter. Jeanty, I don't know. Are they in a position to really be able to take advantage of Jeanty? I'm not so sure.
Well, right now the pick is in for the Giants. Patriots are on the clock. So I love the draft, bro.
Draft is so fun.
Just get it in and get it out, man.
So much drama.
Yeah. But I love it. Like the draft is almost like men going to go shop. It's like, I know what I want. No, I don't need you to show me around. Where are the pants? I love it.
Yeah, it's just a beeline to what you want.
Yeah. It's like, oh, let's pray. Here go the Niners browsing around. Do you have these in taupe? How about a new buck? You got these in a new buck? Like, nah, bro. Pick what you need.
Go get what you need to win.
Third pick. Here we go. The Giants. Abdul Carter. Down. Gotta love it, man. The draft is kind of going how we thought it would go.
Yeah, it's chalky in terms of who's being picked.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. Carter is what the Giants needed to do. It reinforces a strength that they have, and it makes that strength even more of one because now you've got a three-man rotation at edge with guys that can really play.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, so Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Patriots are on the clock. I love this. Just keep it moving. Right now, if we're going to the Patriots right now, this is a little bit of a weird one. Patriots, if you look at what they have as far as team needs are concerned, they're sitting promptly with sorry about that. They need offensive lineman. We could see the first offensive lineman taken off the board right here. Also, they need receiver. I think receiver is still too rich for anybody to do anything. They also need an edge. The first edge has been taken off the board. They need a linebacker as well. What do you think they'll go with here? Do you think we see the first offensive lineman come off the board?
The rumor is Will Campbell is the one they prefer between Campbell and Mimu, but Mimu was gaining favor late heading into the draft. But the other discussion that they're having is trying to trade out and see what kind of value they can get back. Chicago has been talking to New England throughout this week, trying to get up to 4 so that they can pick Jeanty. Now, whether they're able to do that to New England's liking is the question. And I would think that if I'm the Patriots and I'm sold on Will Campbell, I can drop 4, 5, 6 picks and still get Campbell.
Right.
So I would trade out, but it depends on what they've got their eyes on in terms of what value they want to get out of a trade. But if they stay put, I think they'll take Campbell. But it's Campbell or Mimu because they need to protect Drake May.
All right. Hey, so Dual Carter's down. Oh, my God. We got to see what they're going to do. The Giants are happy about Abdul Carter. They got their guy. But, I mean, this should show you exactly where the draft sits, right? If you look at the draft, nobody really feels excited that they, quote-unquote, got their guy. Nobody's said, yeah, there's all of these, like, mundane conversations. Yes, this is amazing. We couldn't have done it better. But, the only thing that I'll say, right, with Abdul Carter is I wonder how he is against the run, particularly with setting the edge. He's a hunter, right? He'll go out and go hunt, right? However, can he be the immovable object? We already saw that he's the unstoppable force, but being the immovable object is really how to get things done. So, look, Will Campbell's out there. Armand Mimu is out there. So we'll see exactly how they feel on what they're trying to pick. But right now, I don't think the pick is in for the Pats. Oh, it is. Pick is in.
Usually when you do something like this, it means there is no trade. So I would guess, my guess would be Campbell, but it can be Campbell or Membu would be what rumor would say for this pick.
Right now they're trying to figure out what they want to do. We got to see what they're talking about. Abdul's in the building. He dressed like Nino Brown. Abdul got the Nino Brown silk top on with the golden with the chain. Oh, cancel that bitch. I'll buy another one. I'm not the only one going down. Everybody's going down with Nino Brown. Am I my brother's keeper? That's my movie, Tom.
Okay.
Cancel that bitch. Huh, I'll buy another one. You gotta get into New Jack City, bruh.
Heard good things. Heard good things.
Look, the pick's in. So right now they did the Pats selected Will Campbell.
Okay.
Which is crazy that they selected him. You know what I'm saying?
Campbell over Membu isn't a call that Niners met with Campbell. They were blown away in the interview because he's exceptionally smart in terms of his football IQ.
Right.
He can talk ball, and maybe that's what won New England over. Or they think that Membu is only a right tackle, and they think that Campbell can play left.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Look, Will Campbell is going to be a guy that they're going to get, and he's going to be a tackle for them, and he's going to work well for them. I don't know when he gets out there on the island, and he's got to see the creme de la creme in the NFL. Those short arms are going to be an issue. So I don't know,
He's a technician, but it's tough to work around not having the standard length arms that you need to be on an island in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll struggle a little bit, but he's got the ability in the rest of his game in terms of his technique to try to compensate for that. But I'm not as sold on Campbell as I am on Membu. I think Membu has a lot more upside.
What do you think about the three of them? Let's go O-line. They finally gave us an excuse. So we got Membu, Campbell, and Banks. What are your differences between them, and who do you have? We obviously have Membu coming out on top. But who do you have out of the other two?
Well, I have Campbell over Banks because I think that Banks is going to have balance issues in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's a projection by me. Maybe he can be coached up out of that. But right now I see a waist bender, a lunger, a guy that can make some poor decisions in leaving his feet. I think that Banks is going to be a great guard in the league. And he might be so good at guard that if he then goes to tackle and doesn't do as well, a team might want to move him back inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, I'll tell you this right now, man. They need to understand exactly what they're going to do with offensive line with the Niners. I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's a lot of
Membu's there.
Go. Well, I don't think Membu's going to last. I think Membu's going to be the next pick by Cleveland.
You think so?
Yeah, they need a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And they traded down to the spot where it would make the most sense to say, okay, we need a tackle.
Mm-hmm. God.
So I don't think Membu lasts the Niners. The Niners, maybe Banks last to 11 and they decide if they want to do that or not.
Mm-hmm.
The talk going into this week is that there's a lot of teams that are picking from 6 to 10 that like Kelvin Banks. So we'll see.
Yeah. Will Campbell just got selected. They're kind of taking all day. Right now, Cleveland's back on the clock. Remember, they traded up. Then they also have the 5th round pick overall. Cleveland's trying to make moves, man. So they're the first ones to strike. They like the top. They like the top of this draft. Pause. So they like the
say
top.
No more. Say no more.
They like the top of the draft. No homo. But hey, look. My only thing about it, he finished. He's a mauler. I think Will Campbell's going to struggle in the athletic department.
Yeah.
He looks like a 1930s bouncer at a juke joint.
Yeah.
He's got on a double-breasted green pinstripe suit.
Oh, man.
Lucky wants to see ya. Go in the back.
Straight out of a time capsule. Okay.
Dog. Look. Right now, they got to see exactly what they're going to do. Mason Graham is still out there.
He is, but if I'm Cleveland, what's the bigger need? I think tackle's a bigger need for them. Mm-hmm. And defensive tackle is something they can use, but I wouldn't say that it's one of their pressing needs heading into the draft. They've got a lot of them. They've got plenty of issues, a lot of holes on that team, but I don't think they'll go Graham this early. I think they'll be looking at Mimu.
Yeah. So right now the Browns are on the clock. I changed the graphic. We about to change the graphic. So Will Campbell. Hey, they're taking all day. 6 more picks, man. Walter Nolan? Armand Mimu?
We'll see. Yeah. Well, I think we're going to see a run. It could be
O-line. There's a run on O-line right now. I think there's going to be a run on O-line.
I think that we could be looking at 3 straight O-line, unless Chicago trades up to get Jeanty.
Okay. So somebody said wide receiver, coach. No.
Nah, not here.
Yo, what if Las Vegas picks up Shador?
That would be wild, but
I have a friend. I have one of my best friends. I want the Niners to get Mikael Williams or Walter Nolan.
Okay.
He can't be all big crying like Winnie the Pooh. Come on, man. Christopher Robin. Oh. Sit up here crying, man. Come on, man.
Get together with Piglet and Eeyore. Okay.
He looks like he's getting called to the Marines. About to get my name called. He was brought to New England to protect Drake May. He said, I'm going to fight and die to protect him with everything on my life. You don't know my life, Pa.
No.
You don't know my life. Chuck that fucking pigskin, son. You don't know about you gotta know that movie. Varsity Blues. You don't know my life.
My life. Okay. Well, you could be right about Mason Graham. No,
Browns on the clock.
If Cleveland is drafting BPA, you can make the argument for some people anyway.
Cleveland's on.
There's some people that have Graham as 5th, 6th in terms of big boards. I disagree with that, but Cleveland may not. And Jim Schwartz may say that I can put this guy to use. I can really find a way to tap into this guy and get our defense to another level. But if I'm the Browns, for me anyway, I would take Mimu, but then I'm sold on Mimu, and they might be sold on Mason Graham.
Dog. I mean, so right now, Cleveland picked up. The pick is in. Hold on.
Here we go.
The pick is in. Come on, Cleveland. The pick is in. So, here we go. And the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select defensive tackle Mason Graham out of University of Michigan. What?
Thanks, Browns.
Thank you, Cleveland. Thank you. I did not want this kid.
Neither did I.
Oh,
it's just,
I have never.
There has to be a level of physicality. I don't see it in him.
I don't see it in Mason Graham at all. You know what? God love him. He's not our problem. Thank God we did not pick up Mason Graham.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Oh, yeah, neither am I.
I'm not mad at that. You know what, Cleveland? I'm happy for you, Cleveland. Good on you.
Well, it comes down to how much trust you have in Jim Schwartz. I would have a lot. So if he thinks he can make it work with Mason Graham, go ahead, dude. But for me, I would have taken Mimu there. But your call, your team.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. 6'4", 296. These are some of the things that I'm just not a fan of Mason Graham. He can get caught playing too high in his stance when he gets tired. I've seen him literally walking around the field when he's tired. If you've watched any of my live watch show parties, if there is not anything that gets me to full froth is when I see somebody walking on the field during a play, bro. During a play. It is absolutely insane. Another thing that I'm not a big fan of Mason Graham is that he can improve his consistency with finishing plays. He occasionally allows runners to slip through his grasp in the backfield. He's always gets kind of the look for being the first guy there, but never bringing anything to the party. So look, I'm glad. I'm happy for the young man. It's good, but Vegas is on the clock, and I love it. We got away from this possible crap show.
Yeah. They dodged a bullet with this one.
What does it say about the Niners?
Well,
what does it say about the Niners, bro?
I think the Niners are helped by this to have Graham off the board.
No, I was gonna say, what does it say about us that we're just excited that players get picked just so we can stay away from them? like, get them away from Kyle.
A ringing endorsement from us on Mason Graham. Yeah,
look, man.
Part of the reason why he's always so tired is because that's his game. His game is based on being this Tasmanian devil on the line, where he's this formal wrestler that can work his hands and spin moves and his feet and all that. But that's not sustainable. And again, in the NFL setting,
hey, man,
I don't think that's going to work. So Raiders up. Okay, well, the rumor is
Raiders are up.
And Jeanty makes a lot of sense for them.
Jeanty makes sense right here. Ashton Jeanty would be perfect right here. If they don't go Ashton Jeanty, it's absolutely going to be crazy. They lost Josh Jacobs, somebody that really helped them out. They missed Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay. I think them just getting on Geno, they picked up Pete Carroll for their head coach right now, and Pete Carroll loves a good run game, right? So this would seem like, come on, man. This is a shoo-in right here. What do you think, Tom?
I would think so. It's long been rumored that the Raiders are looking at Jeanty, and it makes sense because Pete Carroll uses the running back as a defender.
Yeah,
he wants him Percy Harvin. Okay, John. But yeah, we'll see what goes down. But there's rumors that they're interested in Kelvin Banks. But come on, Jeanty's it. A step above.
They may go Kelvin Banks here. They may go offense. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe, but I think that you look at Jeanty and it's just he's such a better talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing indoors, you're playing on turf, and the best way that you can help Geno out, as Pete knows, is give him a running game.
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you this right now, man. They get Ashton Jeanty. That would be a great get for them. I think the world of the kid. I think he's awesome. If they don't pick up Ashton Jeanty, I know that he's off the board very soon. Yeah. So they need to do something with him. And right now, they're showing the pick. So with the number 6 overall pick in the 2025 draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. Love the pick.
Smart move.
I love this pick. I think that it's awesome. Ashton Jeanty gets picked up, number 6 overall. Vegas needed him. It makes sense. And now Vegas is off the clock. We're down to the number 7th pick. We got 4 picks to go, man.
It's getting down there.
I mean, everybody is still kind of there for us in reach, right? Nobody's really gone off the clock that we didn't count on, right?
Yeah, everybody that's a target for the Niners is still in game.
Mm-hmm.
At this pick, the rumor is that Armand Membu is the guy that the Jets like and need. They've got a need at right tackle. But with Aaron Glenn coming in, there's some speculation that he might want Jalen Walker. But I think they'll go with Membu because he's the best talent and he fits precisely what they need.
Mm.
And you also have to look at it in terms of what did Aaron Glenn learn in Detroit? I think he learned that you need a dominant O-line to do anything.
Hell of a pick, man. Let's just go with some of the things that we just love about the kid. We're not going to get him, but one thing that I love about the draft is that we get a chance to see, just the new club, right? The new class, and I feel proud to have a guy like Ashton Jeanty into the league. You love to be able to watch, player comparisons. Feels like we just get some of our old players back. Kind of feel like we got MJD back today. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good call. I think that he's got that dynamic aspect of his game to him. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be somebody that the Raiders are going to lean on hard because they're going to have to. Once they lost Jacobs, they lost a lot. And they've got other needs. They're going to have to address the O-line soon, but this draft is deep enough that they could still get a decent offensive lineman in round 2. When you've got a chance to get Jeanty, go do it. I think this is something that Jahmyr Gibbs has created, is that running back is now back in vogue in the league because people see that if you've got the offensive line in place and you've got a great back, you're in play to make the playoffs. I don't know if that'll be the case for the Raiders, but I think that Jeanty is a great foundation piece for them.
Hell yeah. I mean, one thing I'll tell you is that this kid, he's got contact balance for days. If you glance at him, he kind of gives you Alvin Kamara vibes, but he's a little bit more stout than Alvin. This kid runs tough, hard runner. He's got over 1,000 yards in second contact down the field. One thing I will say about him is that I don't know if he's that good of a blocker, and
he's small.
Yeah, you got to protect the money, but it's hard for you to say he's small when you have a guy like Travion Henderson who, is diminutive in size a little bit himself. And, I would argue that he's hands down the best blocking running back in this year's draft. So
no doubt.
If you're going to be the guy, you got to be able to protect the money. And if you ain't got the letter Q in front of your position, then you ain't the money. So, that's my only thing with Ashton Jeanty is that, for a running back, we always love to see what they do with the ball in their hands. I just didn't see that much of a footprint. He just didn't leave that much of a mark on games when he didn't have the ball, right? Like there's not a lot of plays of Ashton Jeanty on a crackback or Ashton Jeanty stonewalling an edge or Ashton Jeanty chipping on a guy. Those are some of the things that you like to see from him. But, outside of that, you really can't argue with the production.
No. And I think in terms of his pass pro, what it came down to was his carries were so huge at Boise that I think that when he didn't have the ball, he was basically taking plays off to rest because they gave him the ball so much. And that won't be the case in the NFL. So I think that he'll have more energy to bring to a game because they're not going to make him the entire offense the way they did in Boise.
So there's 4 picks left before we go. All 3 of the guys that I wouldn't mind picking at 11 are still here. Okay. Walter Nolan, Armand Mimu, and Mikael Williams. So Armand Mimu, Mikael Williams, and Walter Nolan is the order in which I would, like them to go.
Yeah. But Mimu might go right here to the Jets.
You think so?
Yeah. I talked to content creators. I appeared with JetsCast earlier this year in the regular season, and they told me that the debate was basically going to be between Mimu and Tyler Warren. There was talk that they would look at Jalen Walker, and that's been a late rumor, but they've been maintaining throughout that it's Mimu or Warren to them, the way they see this draft. But when rumors appear late, sometimes that can be the pick, and so there was a lot of talk, especially from the ESPN folks, that Aaron Glenn was pushing to get a pass rusher, and Jalen Walker was the guy that he had his eye on. But my guess is still that the Jets have a clear need for right tackle, and Mimu fills it.
Yeah, hey, look, I'll tell you this, man. The best thing that you can that we can hope for right now is I would love Mikael Williams. Who don't you want at 11 outside of Kelvin Banks?
The obvious one.
The obvious. But who don't you want at 11, bro? Who don't you want?
I'm really okay with it as long as they don't make the reach that Jeremiah had of Gray Zable. I think that would be just a bridge too far, way too rich at 11. But if they take a defensive lineman, I'm okay with Mikael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Walter Nolan. Any one of those 3, I believe the Niners can make it work. Of those 3, I'm not completely sold on Mikael. I think that he's going to be an amazing edge setter. He's going to be a great run defender. I'm just not sold on him as a pass rusher. Okay.
True. My only thing, who's kind of like the sneaky guy that's going to take us all by storm? Will Campbell. Not Will Campbell, Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan.
The medicals on him are so bad, he's now in the 2nd round.
Yep.
His knee is, apparently the surgery that he had in 2023 is risky, and the recovery rate of people returning to what they were is low. There was something on Twitter today of a doctor's opinion on Will Johnson said, I wouldn't even put him on my draft board.
The pick is in right now with the 7th pick of the 2024 NFL draft. The New York Jets select Armand Mimu, tackle, University of Missouri. So Mimbu's off the board. God, man. Let me switch this. Mimbu's gone. Not mad at it. I understand it. What do you think, man?
He's too good to last to 11. You were hoping on that one.
We were. Mason Graham is gone.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Armand Mimu, for me, he is the best. I'll say this. He's the best tackle in the draft because the best tackle in the draft is hurt.
So if Simmons hadn't got hurt, he's unquestionably the first tackle taken, but he would also have gone by now. If Simmons were healthy and he never got hurt, he could have been the 3rd pick.
Right. So Armand Mimbu's up, man. You like the pick?
Yeah, I think that this fits. The Jets have struggled to fill that hole at right tackle for a while, and this solidifies their line. It's somebody that they can count on. Somebody that the knock on Membu is basically over aggression, that he needs to play within himself more. That's something you can coach. What you can't coach is the physical talent and just the guy's motor runs hard and he's a great player.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick for the Jets. I think
they got a great player. I'm low key hating. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's really what it is. I'm trying my best to be cool about it, but really what it is that I know that they just got a hell of a guy that's gonna be there no less than 8 to 10 years. And I'm frustrated about it. So sue me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I want Membu too. I would have traded up for Membu, but at 7, it's pretty hard to build a bridge to that, especially when the Jets are already leaning toward taking the guy in the first place. It's hard to make a trade when a team is already sold on the player you want.
Man. So really, man, what sucks about this is that now we got to just see what's going to happen, because Carolina could go edge.
Well, the player they've long been rumored to want is Jalen Walker, and he falls to them. I think that's the pick.
All right. So right now, what we're working with right now is the first round. The way it's working is we got Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3, Will Campbell 4, Mason Graham 5, Ashton Jeanty 6, Armand Membu 7. We've got, if you want to call Travis Hunter a corner, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Sorry, we're 3 and 4. We got 3 offensive guys and 4 3 offensive guys and 4 defensive guys. It's pretty even. There's not really a run on anything yet, I wouldn't say. Well, there's about to be a run. Well, wait a minute. Don't look now. There's a run on tackle.
Yeah.
If we pick Kelvin Banks, hold on. We need to play a little bit of we need to play some interference. Who can pick up Kelvin Banks before us?
Maybe
the Saints.
Maybe New Orleans. Maybe Chicago. I don't think
Chicago's not going to get a back.
Carolina.
Okay, so Chicago needs a tackle. Chicago also needs an edge.
The final piece of their offensive line is tackle, so they could be looking at Banks, and he's been one of the projected players they're looking at.
If he takes Banks, then we literally have everybody that we want to pick at 11.
Yeah,
except Armand Membu, but that's
right. And then that wasn't realistic to begin with.
That wasn't a realistic pick to begin with, exactly. So what we need is Kelvin Banks to go off the board. We get Kelvin Banks off the board, tackle isn't going to be touched until round 2.
Well, or late 1, depending
Connely.
on if you're sold on Connely or want to take a gamble on Justin.
Or Ariante Ursery.
Right.
He may sneak into the first round. Tackle out of Minnesota.
Right.
Right now, Carolina Panthers are on the clock right now. Don't get upset with my clock. It should be on, but it's not.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what Carolina can do here. The rumor is that they've wanted Jalen Walker because they need a playmaker on defense badly.
Right.
But they also need a playmaker on offense. So the other person that's been suggested is Ted McMillan.
That would be wild. I think he's overrated.
Me too. If I'm making the pick, I'd take Walker.
If they take Ted McMillan is probably one of the most overrated receivers in a long time. That would be great if they got. I mean, I would be so surprised if they did that, though.
Well, they're thinking about how do we get our quarterback up and leveled up. We give him weapons, but Ted McMillan, really? My issue with McMillan is 1, limited route tree. 2, he's predictable in what he does, and always with a reverse field move.
Yeah.
And 3, because he's got long strides, he's not a great separator.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go somewhere else at receiver than Ted McMillan. But that's
all right. Well, the pick is in. With the 8th overall pick in the 2025 draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ted McMillan. What?
Okay. of giving a weapon to their quarterback because they're worried. But I don't get it. I just, we're
Wow, they
the same mind on
reached.
Ted McMillan. Yeah, this is the first reach. But the Niners got two gifts ahead of them, Mason Graham and Ted McMillan.
Oh, my God. This is huge.
And the other thing this might do is it could give the Niners an opportunity at Jalen Walker at 11.
Ted McMillan.
What a dumb pick.
This is not a smart pick, bro.
Ooh, but then bad teams are bad for a reason.
What does he have around his neck? He is not a fluid mover. I know if I'm Drake London, I'm pissed off for getting the player comp. This kid is not no damn Drake London.
No.
I don't get it. He's like a bigger. You know what he gives me? Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what he gives me? He gives me big Dante Pettis vibes.
Ouch.
He's like a big Dante Pettis.
Yeah, he's a tall Dante Pettis. Wow. Okay.
I don't see this. Good luck, Carolina. Yo, and they over here thinking that they helped out Bryce. Bryce is like, dude, I don't know about this. But Tech McMillan to Carolina, man.
Yeah. Okay, and the other thing that we need to pay attention to here, Tyler Warren is falling too. So we've got New Orleans. They like Tyler Warren. They like Mykel Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They like Kelvin Banks Jr.
Banks got to go.
If it's Banks, that's another gift to the Niners.
This would be huge. If they got Kelvin Banks before we pick, that would be huge.
I would breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh, because we can't have nice things. So I need these guys to literally be off the clock.
Yeah. Let's just get the landmines out of the way. Have other teams pick those landmines up and draft them.
All right, man. So we've kind of trashed the man on one of the biggest days of his life. So
yeah.
Let's talk about what we do like about Tech McMillan. You know what I mean? We got to pay some bills here. Everybody doesn't understand that we're naturally nice guys. So we got to at least love on the young man for a little bit. One thing I do love about him is his size, obviously. Sure. He does have a good route tree, right? He's good at what he does. He excels at finding soft spots in zone coverage, and he uses his hands. Yeah. So that's one thing. And he uses his hands in the right position. So I'm not mad at that. You know what would just make my draft is if the Saints picked up Kelvin Banks.
Please, New Orleans, please.
They got to help us out, bro.
We'll see. But to tie a bow on Ted McMillan, the other thing is huge catch radius because he's 6'4",
right,
and great hands. So you could throw jump balls to that guy, and he's going to pick them off all day.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what they've got in mind.
All right. So the Saints are on the clock. We're looking at team needs for New Orleans. What New Orleans has, they need QB, they need an edge, they need offensive line, and they need a DB. Right now, there's a run on tackles, and the Saints need a tackle. And
they're rumored to be interested in Banks, so he's a possibility here. But they were also rumored to be interested in Tyler Warren and Mykel Williams.
Tyler Warren at 10, I got to be honest, that's right around elite tight end area. Right at 10, right outside the top 10. Look, man, please.
You and me both good.
So wait a minute. So Shador didn't come. Shador getting drunk at the. Oh man, they got him dead.
What's the visual?
Leaning right into the stereotypes. Jewelry everywhere, leather everywhere, cups everywhere. Just, not even helping us. Not even helping the culture right now.
Nah, you're feeding the stereotype.
He might as well have had this. He might as well have had his draft party at Magic City. Come on, man. Shador, I be trying to root for Shador. He be letting me down, Tom.
Yeah, well, he's living the life as he and
look. Max LaFame might have been water, coach.
Okay.
Hey, the pick is in. The pick is in. Come on, New Orleans. Come on, fucking Saints. Let's go. They're walking slowly.
It's the funeral march.
Come on, man. Help me out. Take Banks. Take Banks.
They should have a New Orleans jazz band leading the
Here it comes. Fucking chick. Here we go. Pick is in. With the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select. Woo! Yeah! Calvin Banks! That's what I'm talking about! Woo! I love it!
Oh, man.
Come on, man!
I got to get
as
Kellen.
We go in the memories. You gotta. I've been talking about this dude for months. Tom, I feel like we should hug each other. Tom, wrap your arms around the screen, man. I love you, Tom. I love you. We did this. It was you and me, Tom. If it wasn't for us, we did this, Tom. We did this.
Damn straight. Oh, man. I got to get a year's supply of jambalaya to Kellen Moore.
Oh!
Thank you, dude.
Yo, I don't care who the do what you want, Bears. Take Jalen Walker. We'll take Mikael Williams. Take Walter Nolan. We'll take Jalen Walker. Do what you want to do. We cannot screw this pick up. I love it.
Well, yeah. And now we come to Chicago, and I think that Ben Johnson is going to say, Tyler Warren would be a nice fit for my offense.
Yes, he would. Go ahead and take Tyler Warren off our hands. That's the chef's kiss. Tyler Warren is the chef's kiss to the perfect Niners first round. All of the people that we know Kyle needs to stay away from are gone.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
And so Ben Johnson is saying, I need my Jake Laporta. Tyler Warren.
Do your thing, man. Get Tyler Warren, dude. Don't let us down.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Can't wait till we get our pick.
But man, we're only one away, and there's a lot of players we love.
There's so many good players. Yo, I ain't gonna say it, but my boy is out there. Jihad. That's a reach.
Nah.
That's a reach.
There's more medicals coming out on Jihad that are bad. The other shoulder is bad, and there's a knee problem too.
I know. God damn it. The pick is in, though.
Because I would have loved Jihad if he was healthy, but he's not.
Yeah. Dog, the Bears picked quick. Tyler Warren's their guy. Here we go. I was about to say something sexist. Be quick. Hurry. I was ready. I got home training. You know what I'm saying? And, a space like this, we really don't need that much conversation. And there's a lot of conversation happening during the draft right now, Tom. And I'm a little frustrated because we should be getting to the picks right now, and they've just turned the draft into a beauty pageant. There's somebody with sequins on. She's holding cards. It looks like the freaking Grammys right now. Can we get to the pick?
Well, has Chicago been their pick?
She just mentioned Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
She had a nerve to say, without further ado, yes. Every game reveal. This is. You know what this is? This is the equivalent of like your boss's child saying grace at a cookout or something, and everybody's just got to kind of be nice and just sit there like,
oh boy, they're doing like, I don't know, Chamber of Commerce kind of thing where everybody say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't know what they're doing, man.
They're being hokey.
All right,
and now it's Chicago's pick. Come on,
Chicago is the pick. The pick is in. The pick is in. Let's go. Let's go. Who we got? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Big Bears energy. Big Bears energy. Come on. Money, 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 money. Come on. Let's go, Yahtzee.
Come on, Ben.
Come on. Money, 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 money. Let's go. Big dollars. I got it. He can it. He can it. He can it. Swing better. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Is he telling a story? He just said he started off with yesterday.
Oh, man.
Oh. Why do they do this to us?
They know they've got a captive audience of absolute
and you can't say anything because they tell the most heart-wrenching stories during the worst time. And it's like trying to do your it's like trying to do your taxes during sex. Like, it's just, why are you making us focus on such a highly emotional moment? Like, don't make us focus like this.
NFL.
Ah! Come on!
This shouldn't be local access television. Come on, man.
No, you got to put this shit in a pamphlet, dog. Come on. We've been waiting months.
Chicago turned their card in yesterday. Come on.
As you heard earlier.
What is this? Okay. Well, while they're taking their dear sweet time, we've got Walter.
All
Nolan,
right. The Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren.
Ooh.
What?
Ben Johnson is a smart dude.
Colston Loveland is back. That's a pick.
That's a heck of a pick. Loveland, in a lot of people's eyes, including mine, is the better tight end of the two because he's younger and he's faster.
Colston Loveland is an actual NFL weapon.
Right. And so Johnson's going to be able to use him as such. That's a great pick for the Bears. I hadn't seen
I'm scared. I'm scared now. I'm scared because that means that Tyler Warren is out there and the freaking Niners, man. Dude, if we pick up Tyler Warren,
they can't. Look at this. You've got Mykel Williams, Shamar Stewart, Walter Nolan, and Jalen Walker.
Tom,
are all on the board.
You're speaking logic right now, Tom. This is the Niners.
It is, but when you're faced with this, you've got four aces that are waiting there for you, and you're going to say, no, I want Tyler Warren because of red zone touchdowns? No. You have to go DL here. And if we interpret what Lynch had to say,
I mean, we could do whatever we want right here.
Yeah, it's they want a edge-setting defensive end to stop the run. That's Mykel, and Stewart can do that too. Their history would be Nolan because they value the pass-rushing DT, and Jalen Walker would be the chess piece for Saleh. But any one of those four, they can't really go wrong. Any one of those guys is a great pick.
Dude, Niners are on the clock, bro. Tom, this is it. Niners are on the clock. They haven't even started talking about us.
I think we're going to be happy because
there's so much talent left.
The value at 11 is surprisingly high based on the picks that went in the top 10. I didn't think Jalen Walker would be here. And I wasn't sure that Mykel Williams would be here.
Dude, Jalen Walker's still here. Mykel Williams is still here, bro. Like, this is so perfect. Don't touch Shador, and you better not touch Tyler Warren.
Nah.
Let's see what we got.
I think they go DL because it's the best.
They got to go edge here.
It's the best need. It's the best value. It's the best player available.
We got to go edge.
One of these four guys is great value. So,
but that's the thing.
It's Michael or Shamar, and based on what Lynch said this week, he's leaning Michael because you've got. He said he wanted the edge setter, run defender at edge, and the rumor is that Kasarik likes Shamar Stewart, but Kasarik have a lot of.
Tom, I swear to God, I love you, Tom, but don't nobody care what Coach Kasarik want. We want real edge. Look. It's either Jalen Walker or Mikael Williams. That's it. This is the only edge. These are the only guys with the upside and the size, and they got the actual versatility to play. All right,
and the proven stats.
Right. And look,
if you want to stop the edge, your best call is one of the Georgia guys.
Yes.
So I agree with that. And it's just a question of, okay, what do you prefer? But to my point on Kasarik, I think he doesn't have enough juice left in the building because he hasn't delivered. So
you know what? No. I think that's bullshit. I'm going to tell you why. I think that's BS because they owe Coach Saleh this first round pick. Coach Saleh came here and he had to watch this roster bleed for a whole off season, and they didn't do fuck all in free agency. They owe him a player right here. They owe him a player, right?
And if it's either one of the Georgia guys, I think Saleh would be happy.
Mikael Williams has got to be the guy. Jalen Walker, I just feel like he's got a low ceiling. He's done everything that he needs to do.
Yeah. The thing that I like about Walker is just he makes plays.
Yeah. We're on commercial break, by the way. That's why I'm taking all day.
Okay. Well, but there's no question. You look at Mikael Williams and you say he's not even 21 yet. Look at his 20. Size. Come on.
I think it'd be a hell of a pick.
I can see that. I've got my reservations on Williams in terms of his pass rushing ability, but that's where you're going to turn to Kasarik and say, okay, dude.
Work with us. And then not only that, though.
Make this happen. But what
I love about this, though, what I love about this is that if we get Mikael Williams, that automatically puts us in defensive tackle and offensive line territory right away.
Yeah,
right?
It sets up 43 nicely, which is what they need. And it works with the draft. For once, they're doing what a smart GM, if they take, let's say, Mikael Williams, what a smart GM does is take what the draft gives you. This draft is giving them 4 choices at D-line that they shouldn't even have 4.
Yeah.
Since one of those 4 is Mikael Williams, the best way that you can use what this draft provides is to take Williams. You're getting a young guy. You're getting a guy that has proven to do what you need most, setting the edge against the run.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way that Shedeur Sanders gets picked up? I just had to say it. I have to say it.
In the second? I don't know about the first.
I don't think Shedeur gets picked up in the first round, honestly.
Apparently his...
Niners pick is in. Hey, the pick is in. The pick is in. We're off the clock. The pick is in. Oh, my God. Rich Eisen just said, I think the Niners are going to take Tyler Warren. Don't say that, Rich.
Oh, come on, Rich.
Come on, Rich. Don't say that, buddy.
I don't need heart problems.
They're clapping. Everybody's clapping. There's some kid in the middle of the floor. Who are these kids? We just got random kids standing around. Jed looks confused. Little kids walking around with a Ferrari hoodie on. Awesome. He's not going to get beat up at school. This is an important draft. Come on, man. Let's strike up the bombast. The stage looks absolutely beautiful.
Cool.
All right, we got the main stage. They're doing a video?
Really?
My word.
Do we have to endure all this? This is a chance for the Niners to finally get it right.
I love the troops. I love the troops. I can't go against the troops.
No, absolutely.
They got the guy speaking. Okay, buddy.
All right. Well, then that's cool.
All right. Come on, man. Oh, he's doing the pick. Here we go. All right. With the 11th pick, the San Francisco 49ers select edge out of UGA, Michael Williams. That's what I'm talking about. Now, that's a pick. That's a strong pick. I love that pick. We finally got it right.
After all these years.
After all this time, Michael Williams, I love the pick. I love the pick.
He does exactly what you need most.
Let's go over it. Forget the rest of these fools. We finally found out our pick, bro. So let's talk about Michael Williams, man. Michael Williams is a huge get for us.
Yeah.
So 6'5", 270 pounds. All right. This kid's 20 years old. Edge out of Columbus, Georgia. And one thing that you got to love about him off the rip is that he's a physical specimen. I mean, Michael Williams is a dog. Williams' journey through Georgia, he vaunted as a defensive pipeline, and he's marked with steady growth. Here goes his scouting report strengths that we have out of him. His showcases have rare power at the point of attack. He's consistently controlling blocks with violent hands, creating separation that allows him to track the ball carriers effectively. He brings scheme versatility in spades, can play with his hands in the dirt or standing up, showing equal comfort rushing from multiple alignments. Natural leverage player who excels at setting a strong edge, using his length and heavy hands to stack and shed blocks with authority. Also demonstrates advanced recognition skills in the run game, rarely getting caught out of position on misdirection or zone reads. Brings a nasty bull rush that can collapse the pocket, showing the ability to convert speed to power and walk tackles back into quarterback. He also possesses an elite motor that never quits, consistently showing up in pass and backside pursuit and late in games when others are gassed. He displays impressive lateral agility for his size, particularly when working line games and stunts with interior defenders, which the Niners are weak at. With line games and stunts. This is somebody who does that very well. He shows natural instincts as a pass rusher. He is raw, natural, but he is raw, with ability to counter and adjust his rush mid-snap based on offensive line sets, which is what I was afraid of all of these guys, right? Mm-hmm. Dallas is on the clock right now. The pick is in. I could care less. Let's get to a couple of Michael Williams' weaknesses. He could be a tick late off snaps at times, giving up the edge before his natural athleticism can take over to compromising his rush angle. He needs to develop more diverse pass rush arsenal. All right, right now he's got a good scissors. He's got a good side scissors. He's got a good swim and a good bull, but he's going to have to bring something a little more, maybe a rip, maybe a club, a swim. But he needs to develop a more diverse pass rush arsenal. It will occasionally play too high in his stance. That's because they had him playing all over the place, okay? He rarely got a plans to stay somewhere in one place, and he could improve his ability to recognize and react, pulling guards, occasionally getting caught up in traffic when he should be setting the edge. Outside of that, I love it. I've talked the entire time. The Cowboys just came up with their pick, and it's in. The Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Booker, the guard out of Alabama.
Okay.
Solid pick.
They want a mauler.
I'll take it. But, yo, I love our pick, Tom.
Yeah, it's smart. It's using the draft effectively, and it's filling a critical need. If this team wants to stop the run, this is the first piece of doing it. But I think that this now sets the mission for this draft. We have to be on a mission to make sure that we can stop the run. And this is the first piece in doing that. And now the question is, will they do that throughout the draft?
Mm-hmm.
And address this need at linebacker and in the backfield in the second.
Man.
But this is a foundation piece for Saleh's new defense. And he's got a guy for once they're not drafting a guy that's 24. He's going to get a rookie contract and gone.
We got some upside.
Young. And because of the way that he was used at Georgia, he hasn't really scratched the surface of what he can do as a pass rusher. So hopefully Kaserik and Saleh can figure that out and add the counters that he needs and work with him. The other weakness I have is I don't think he's that great laterally. He's a little stiff, and so they're going to need to work with him on that too. But you've got a guy that's going to contribute day one who's young and gives you exactly what you need. So great pick. I was pins and needles scared that they were going to blow this, but the way the top 10 fell, it really helped them. And that's
it's awesome. It's awesome. Mikael Williams is such a great pick. I love this pick. I wanted, and honestly, the reason why I wanted Jahad Campbell is for all of the reasons why Mikael Williams kind of came onto our radar late.
Yeah.
I liked him because of his youth. I liked him because of his upside. I liked him because of the tread on his tires. He played hurt, but this kid he doesn't have a lot of injuries. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. I love the pick. We finally got somebody that can play opposite of Nick Bosa. No more, we need to get Nick Bosa a running mate. Like, no, we got him, right? Yeah, I love this. Now, double down in the second round. Go get Anthony Belton, or go get TJ Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're talking. Belton, somebody you take at 75, not 43. 43, you're looking at, hopefully, TJ Sanders, Darius Alexander. There's some DTs that they can look at. Maybe they take a look at Tyleik Williams as well, though I'm not sold on him as a pass rusher at all. But he's the run-stuffing boulder. So if this is the mission of the draft, to stop the run, then those are the guys that they'll be looking at. But we both love TJ Sanders, so that's somebody that I would hope is near or at the top of their list for 43. But we'll have to see who falls to 43. We don't really know yet. Yeah, if Josh Connely or Josh Simmons falls to 43, then I think they could look at tackle. And they did bring in Ursary too, so that's another one that they could look at.
Yeah.
It's just a question of who's going to be there.
Right.
But the important thing is, for once, and this is pretty rare for this group, they got the first rounder right. Big.
Look, man, I love the pick. Mikael Williams, he's got tons of upside. Like we said, the kid he's born in 2004. He's not going to be 21 until June 29th. My word. Come on. Talk about robbing the cradle.
That's sweet.
Man, all right, so let's kind of get into it. Now, let's get into all things Mikael Williams. If we're looking
for him, pull up the card for Mikael.
Oh, do you have the card in?
Yeah, there's a card for Mikael in there.
All right, let's see. I think it's right. What do we got? Fannin, Kyle Williams, Landon Jackson. I don't believe we got Mikael in here. Or was it the last batch you sent? There he is.
The last batch.
There he is. I got him.
There we go.
Look, so all things Mikael Williams, man. One thing I like about him is his arm length. He's got 35-inch arms, 10-inch hands. I want to know what his relative his player NFL comp is. Greg Rousseau out of Buffalo.
Right.
What do you see when you see this kid? Let's scout with anticipation, right? Forecast what this guy can be.
I think what he can be is an every down player. That's one thing. So you get even more value. Is that you're going to get a 3-down player, which they might not have gotten depending on who. And
right.
He's someone that sets the edge, and that's critical. Lynch talked about in the press conference this week. And I've seen some analysis where there's been some good people. Max Toscano, he's played for Cincinnati. He had a really thoughtful piece about a week or two ago where he broke down the wide nine and said, given what offenses are now doing against the wide nine, the most important skill set is setting the edge against the run.
This is a pedigree kid through and through. He's a former 5-star recruit. Got recruited, got chased down by Georgia when Georgia was the place to go to. But the leverage was different. Georgia wanted this kid, not the other way around. One thing I like about him is that he's got prospect projection of a day one Pro Bowl caliber player. So make no mistake about it. Out of the guys that we talked about being worth first round picks at where we picked, this was phenomenal value.
Yeah, no question. Because there were a lot of people that expected Williams to go to New Orleans at 9. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the gift of the Saints taking Banks is that it sent Mykel Williams down to 11. And the Niners got a lot of favors in the top 10.
Who do we got to send? You know who we got to send a bottle of rum to? Got to send him a bottle of blue label, man. Some Johnny Walker, man. We got to send Cleveland a couple of bottles, man.
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland helped us out.
And make sure that you get one to Mickey Loomis in New Orleans.
Oh, we got to help out. You know who else we got to give a box of cigars to? You know who we owe a box of stogies to? Carolina for taking Ted McMillan. We got Carolina. Way to take one for the team.
Yeah.
You got to love it, man.
The thing that surprises me in terms of who's falling at this point is Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker is falling. But to me, out of the both of them, I like Mykel Williams better.
Yeah, I understand.
I didn't see it.
It's just that if you're going to use somebody like Jalen Walker, you have to have a game plan in mind, because if you don't leverage all the things he can do, then it's like Travis Hunter, where you're wasting the overall potential if you only put him in one spot. Jalen Walker, you would need to have a plan for him at linebacker, at edge. The problem for Walker is that because he plays two positions, he's underdeveloped in both. He needs to learn how to rush the passer at a higher level, and he needs to learn pass coverage as a linebacker. So with Williams, you're getting somebody who knows exactly what he's doing. You don't have to worry about that element. It's just do what you do. The cool thing about a draft pick like this is that you've got someone who does exactly what you need, and it's his core strength. So it plays into exactly what he loves to do and does well. Usually you get great success from picks when you do that.
The Miami Dolphins, with the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, have selected defensive tackle Kenneth Grant out of the University of Michigan. That's a hell of a pick, too. I don't know, a little too rich for me at that size. What do you think about Kenneth Grant?
You raised a great point on Kenneth Grant a couple of weeks ago, where you brought up the body composition, where you said that he's got 332 pounds, but how much of that is actually muscle?
Yeah.
Because you look at his bench reps, he only had, 22
bench reps.
Combine. So does he really have the core strength? I mean, you could look at the weight, but how does he play? I mean, what Grant has proven is that he can run well in pursuit, but what he hasn't necessarily proven is he has the level of strength necessary to play defensive tackle well on double teams. Now, he did that in Michigan. He proved himself in Michigan to a degree, but I think you're right that his physicality, his strength comes into concern when you only have 22 bench reps, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that he got a lot of love off of being a talented player on a very talented defense.
Yeah.
This is my thing, is that when you get guys like a Mason Graham, and then you get a guy like a Kenneth Grant, and you're not necessarily sold on what they do, what kind of throws you off is maybe they just played well together, and they're not necessarily the force contributors by themselves that you would expect. One thing about Kenneth Grant that worries me is his body. At 335, 40 pounds, he moves very well for his size, right? But he moves very well at spurts. When you have a body like that, you move and you get a lot of credit for your athleticism, the number one thing that undergirds that for me is your motor, right? Because what's the point of having all of that, but we only get it for first and second down, but we can't rely on it on third? But what you really are, to me, is you're really in shape shade. right? You're just a really good nose tackle you're more in shape than the rest. But I think that Kenneth Grant's a little bit too much to be picked at that position.
Yeah,
but
that was rich.
Right now, 14th pick is in right now. It's moving. Yeah, and Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Gotta love it.
Their clear need was tight end, and everybody had Warren going ahead, and then Loveland going to Indy here. So this was a chalk pick. Everybody was forecasting, mocking the Colts taking a tight end here.
Mm-hmm. I love the pick. It's good for them. Tyler Warren at 14. I got to be honest. I thought that Colston Loveland was better than Tyler Warren. I just didn't see it happening that soon.
Well, you need a great talent evaluator. Yeah. You need a great talent evaluator, somebody like Ben Johnson who knows what his offense needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, ATL's on the clock. Don't look now, but we're at pick 15. First round's almost halfway done.
Yeah. Well,
and we're moving.
And so here is where Jalen Walker makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta has also been mocked to be interested in Mike Green, but I think Walker might be the pick here.
We'll
see.
Well, one thing that I'll say right now is that the Falcons, they've always needed more defense. They've always kind of been a defense by committee team, right. Not necessarily having force contributors. I mean, we already know the guys that they've had in years past, but it's been a while since they've had just guys on defense. I can't really call out anybody in the NFL that has really stuck out on defense for the Colts. Usually, I mean, not the Colts, but the Falcons rather. Usually they go pretty hard for offensive guys as of late, but we'll see what they'll do. Now let's go ahead and just talk about it. We're starting to see some chirping right now. We're getting some stuff from Kenny Powers and guys right now. Do you think it's viable to trade up?
They've got enough picks. They've got 11 picks in this draft, so they have the assets if they want to use them.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're targeting the players that they've shown interest in, they're going to need to save some of that ammo. If Kyle wants to get, for example, Harold Fannin,
mm-hmm.
Fannin goes, according to most mocks, in the 90s. The Niners
mm-hmm.
have 75 and 100. So they would need to either trade back from 75 or up from 100 to get him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if Kyle is focused in on Fannin as his tight end two-piece, then I think they're going to need to save the assets there to make sure that they can get to 90.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Tom. I'm 100% against trading back up. We got our guy.
No.
Things are going to start thinning out as soon as second round comes around, especially near the end of the first round. And I think we can catch some suckers, man. Some people that are going to want to start trading up for our spots. That's not to say that we take any deals right now, but right now, I'm not here to say that every pick is just going to make sense like the Williams pick, but I'd be okay with 8 guys. That's a remarkable draft if they hit on 7.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that'd be a first for this regime to hit on 7 picks. They've never done it.
Yeah.
They could, though. This draft is deep enough, as Lynch pointed out in the press conference, that you can get quality guys in the 6th round in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
They're there. If you evaluate and say, this is the guy that can fit and make it work, and this is somebody that we can find a spot for on our team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Niners would be better served to look to trade back. I didn't think that they had any options to trade back in the first,
mm-hmm.
but they will in the second because 43 is going to be a hot spot. There's a lot of players that teams are very interested in that are going to be at that pick. If the Niners say that we've got 10 guys that we like, they could trade down from there. We'll see.
Definitely.
It depends on who, though, because I think that there's a couple players at 43 that they would say, we're not moving. And that would be Josh Connely Jr., the tackle from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Simmons, if they're sold on the health, the great tackle, but with the patellar tendon injury at Ohio State. And Trevion Henderson, the running back, but I don't think that Henderson's going to last to 43.
He's not going to last. No. That would be manna from heaven.
Right.
If Trevion Henderson lasted till 43. I mean, and honestly,
I'm not counting on it.
I just, you know what? Go get a D tackle.
Probably.
Get a D tackle.
Because
right?
that'll be the value. In likelihood, the best player available at 43 is going to be a D tackle. And I hope that they take a look at TJ Sanders there.
TJ Sanders with Mikael Williams will be all this entire offseason of the lobbying we've been doing. It would be so worth it.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be worth it. I mean, God, right now I cannot wait to go back and start geeking over Mikael Williams film. I'm itching now that we honestly, excuse me, now that we have our guy, I really don't care about the rest of the draft.
Well, I care because it's going to influence what happens at 43. That's where my interest is.
Yeah. 43 is huge. You know what I mean? But I could get all the rest of this shit in the email.
Yeah.
All the rest of these picks, I could find this out tomorrow. I mean, obviously we're doing this for content. We've been bigging up this show all the time, but this would be. Hold on, Larry hates the pick.
He doesn't like Mikael Williams because Larry wants pass rusher.
Larry asked me today. He called me and asked me.
That was my concern too, but the bottom line remains that the primary need on this team is an edge setter. Larry wanted Shamar Stewart. Larry wanted
Larry, dude. Crazy. Larry told me not because I know how this is going to get back. So I'm not Larry. I love you, but Larry told me that he wanted Tyler Booker at 11.
Oh yeah, he did. But yeah, come on. Why would Kyle of all people take Tyler Booker? He tested terribly. He's slow. He's a mauler. He's not a.
He's a mauler.
Guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's get some super chats out the way.
I would never take Booker. No.
I don't see it. I don't see it either. Hold on, we get a couple of super chats out the way. Alan Lopez, $4.99. Thank you. Much love for putting in the work all those hours, Coach. You carried my work shift. You entertain and you are very knowledgeable in the future. Go, thank you, man. But I couldn't have did any of this without Tom and my lady. Love you, boo. Mr. Hardy, $2. Thank you. Go Niners. Go Niners indeed, man. Manhattan John, $9.99. My guy. 260 pounds, 4.40. Take Tyler Warren, please. We get a couple of years with Kittle, and then we have his replacement. No, John. He's gone.
John, the password is Harold Fannin Jr.
Come on, man. Tom, stop.
The shit's chess. It ain't checkers.
Stop, Tom. John, sorry. Carl, $2. Thank you. Tom, Coach, your thoughts on trading back into the first? We've already covered that. I'm not a fan of it.
I don't think that happens, but they are really high on Connely. So if Connely falls late first, maybe they consider that.
Right. 199 Caesar, the QB room at Tom. What's your player comp for Williams? Well, we said Greg Rousseau.
Yeah, and that's basically it. Is that a guy that wins on length, that excels at setting the edge. A much better Cleveland.
My boy says, Joseph, I'm for real. You Joseph Unreal, I think. My bad, I messed up your name, brother. Hey, Coach, how do you feel about the idea of big boys hiking barefoot in a controlled environment? As an offensive line, as an off-season activity, it builds tendon strength and grit. You got to get the individual toes, the toe shoes. Look into those, Joseph. I tried them. Didn't work out that well. But, hey, you can make me a believer, brother. You know what I'm saying? Adam K, $5. Thank you. Coach, I'm sorry, but I hate our pick. This is Solomon Thomas all over again. We needed an offensive lineman. There are more offensive linemen out there. All right.
They had a meeting with Anthony Belton. They like him. There's a lot of people that are mocking him to the Niners at 75. He's from NC State. Powerful player. He can work. He can move. They had a private workout with Charles Grant from William and Mary. He's late third, early fourth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some guys they're looking at. Plus, as we've talked about, Connerly and Simmons as well at tackle. They've got options. There's other players that they brought in specifically to evaluate offensive line. They didn't have to go offensive line at 11. And for once, they took advantage of what the draft gave them. That's what they should have done last year. The time to take an offensive lineman in the first was last year, not this year.
Right. So Cardinals are on the clock right now. The Atlanta Falcons in the 2025 NFL Draft with pick number 15 overall have selected linebacker, UGA, Jalen Walker. That's an awesome pick, man.
Yeah.
Jalen Walker, he was the guy that played all the time with Georgia. He got all of the snaps. He was their force contributor. He's the guy that played the entire time. Good pick for him.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah. He fits. And you've got Jonathan Gannon bringing the Philadelphia defense. You can see how a player like Jalen Walker can be used in that defense well.
Mm-hmm.
You get a good mind like Gannon, he can scheme up. He can find ways to use Walker in both roles. That's a good pick for the Cardinals.
Hey, man, you got to love it, bro. But listen, one of the things that we have to do is I didn't make this damn graphic for nothing. So we going to use it, goddammit. So we got to see it. Michael Williams, man. I love him because he's just so damn young. You know, like the sky is the limit, man. You know, usually when you get a guy who has this many weapons or this much skill in his bag, he's more of a journeyman, right? He's more of an old salty boot. He's been around a while. He's a 3-year starter, right? Or he's been playing since a true freshman, and he's got all of those reps under his belt. But this was a guy who, quite frankly, Michael Williams, all right, so he played hurt. But when you play for a program like UGA, with the talent level the way it is, they don't have to play anybody. They found a way to get him on the field, right? And that's what I see with Michael Williams, where they didn't play him because, you know, there was some political, you know, cachet around his name and where he was. He was too talented not to put on the field.
He forced his way onto it.
Yes, so much so that they had him playing out of position just because having him on the field was better than whatever they had. So that's what you got to know about Michael Williams, is that his versatility is awesome, but when he finally gets a chance to settle down at the edge, in 2 years, this kid could be out playing Nick Bosa, man. I'm telling you.
Could be.
You know?
But we'll see. The important thing to me is just that he can hit the ground running and he's that young. You get both of them.
Yeah, he's starting.
You get the value of a guy that's going to start day one.
Starting edge. We're locked in. I'm with it. There's nothing else you could do, man. But, hey, Jalen Walker. So we got some guys. What do you say to people that are coming out that, you know, and this is fair. Stark says, I think Jalen Walker would have been a better pick. What do you think about that, Tom?
It could be, but it depends on what their plan would have been for him. If you're going to use Jalen Walker just as a pass rusher, you aren't leveraging everything that he brings to the table. Now, it could be that the Niners could say, you know, we think that we can develop him in pass coverage as a linebacker, and we can also use him in simulated pressure, especially as a pass rusher on third. So I get that, but I think that the Niners can still address the need for bringing the heat in other ways. You know, if they do well at linebacker, for example, there's linebackers that can blitz well, and you can pick up people there. There are other ways you can go about this, but what Williams provides is what they need most, setting the edge against the run. If he can't get it together in terms of the pass rushing skills, well, you got 11 picks. You can get a designated pass rusher late in this draft and get a good one. So how they go about drafting the rest of these pieces is going to be key.
We've got a super chat from Adam, $5. Adam K, $5. Thank you. We lost the Super Bowl on Purdy's final pass. Jennings was wide open. The offensive line failed us. That moment will stick with me forever. Okay. You can also say, why did Kyle have a pulling center in the red zone. I mean, I don't know, man. You know, putting what's the kid's name? Spencer Burford. Putting Spencer Burford in that type of situation for that type of moment. There's nothing about Spencer Burford that he came in with, that he played at, that he did the entire year, that told anyone that he was going to be able to handle that moment. Kyle should have known that.
Yeah, but wasn't Spencer in the game because of an injury? It was one of those where he came in because somebody got dinged. So I don't think that was something that Kyle had specifically schemed for Burford. It was just that's who he had on the field. But given that, that's an issue. But to Adam's point,
we got to pick, Tom.
I'm thinking Jahnty Barron.
You think Jahnty Barron? I like it. With the number 16th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals have selected defensive tackle out of Ole Miss, Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan. You got to love that pick. That's a hell of a pick for Walter Nolan, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little bit, now that he's not ours, we could talk about all of the stuff that we know. He's a little bit of a head case. I'm kind of glad that we didn't get him. What do you think?
High traits, very disruptive, but needs to be coached up. He's raw. He wins on physicality, not technique.
Right.
But his technique can improve with good coaching. It's just a question of what can you do in taking him up to be a more disciplined player. Because the problem with Nolan is he's swinging for the home run every single down. He's trying to get to the pass rusher every time. And when you do that, you put yourself out of position, especially against the run. But I think they could have coached that up with Nolan. I would have been fine with the Niners taking Nolan, but I'm perfectly happy with Michael Williams too. So I don't have a fault with them taking Nolan. I think that it fits. And I misspoke before. I had Jalen Walker in Arizona. He was in Atlanta, so that's a different thing. But Nolan with Gannon in Arizona is a good fit, given that they've shored up their line on the edges. So Arizona is going to be tough, especially when you drop back to pass. Brock's going to have a lot of people hunting him.
Man, I mean, Walter Nolan, I mean, we can't get rid of him. We got to get offensive linemen to block Walter Nolan now. We're going to see him twice a year.
Yeah.
I like Walter Nolan.
In the run game, they can target him.
Say that again?
In the run game, they can target him. In the pass game, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, one thing I will say is Walter Nolan is a freak. All right, as far as physical traits, height, weight, speed, get off, explosiveness, temperament, nastiness, consistency. You know, what else? You be here all day. My only thing with Walter Nolan is that he knows all of those things about himself. And there seems to be a tendency at times where Walter Nolan kind of plays like he's got all the answers. He thinks that he hasn't seen offensive linemen that can't block him. He doesn't have to use contact. He'll show his chest. I mean, he's used bad technique in one, which is a horrible precedent for a player of his talent. You know, when you got guys that good and they're routinely getting in the backfield with bad technique, showing their chests, using one arm. You know, I don't know. I had a conversation. Tell me what you think about this, Tom. We had a conversation on the four-man front a couple of days ago where I'd raised the issue that Coach Kaczmarek was kind of running out of grace with me. And that, I don't necessarily know that it's just a shoo-in to give Coach Kaczmarek what we would want to call like clay, of a player. One of the reasons why this came up is just, namely because of some of the guys in the past that haven't really panned out. Drake Jackson, Javon Kinlaw. We've had some other guys come in at edge that haven't really done. Robert Bill Jr. really hasn't materialized for us.
Right.
Hargraves came here and actually regressed. Did not get better. Chase Young came in and kind of, walked through everything. And I felt as though that even though we couldn't get around Coach Kaczmarek, his coaching or the lack thereof, because we just need the position. We don't have the ball players at the position. I thought that Walter Nolan with Coach Kasarik would have been a nightmare. I don't think that he would have had the patience to coach this kid. I mean, I've been hearing stories about this kid walking off of practice fields, like in the middle of practice.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of, outside of Charles Omenihu, I mean, I'll give him Charles Omenihu. And he's hurt now.
And DJ Jones.
And DJ Jones, right.
Aside from those two, where are the success stories? Yes, he had a hand, if we're to believe the various reports, in drafting Drake Jackson and Beal. Mm-hmm. He loved Beal because he had the get-off that Kasarik loved. So,
right.
Yeah, and Greg All says he wanted Shamar. Yeah, that was the rumor. But what's interesting is they didn't take Shamar, which tells you how much sway does Kasarik really have? Mm-hmm. Not a lot. Now this, I think you can make an argument that this is the best Niner draft pick at edge since Alden Smith. And if that's the case, okay, Kasarik, you can't argue we're not giving you great quality talent now. Mm-hmm. So deliver. I
love the pick, man.
Yeah.
I think, it speaks, what it also does? It speaks to exactly where we are. We need, what have I been saying over the past whole draft? I mean, all season. We need new blood.
They need new stars.
Mykel Williams is not a recipe. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not a piece to the puzzle. Mykel Williams is somebody that's just going to make dudes feel uncomfortable.
That's a great thing.
That's a great thing. Yeah. That's a great thing.
I have to take back, this is already walking in my head. Obviously, Bosa is the best edge that they've taken, but I almost think that Bosa wasn't really drafting him. It was just kind of, he fell to us thanks to Kyler going one because
it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, there was no thought going into drafting Bosa. It was obvious. So a thought in terms of just an edge that they drafted with the strategy in mind, I would say that that's the parallel for Mykel Williams.
Okay.
And that becomes an accountability thing for Kasarik, which is also a good thing.
Awesome. Hey, we got one time. With the 17th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select edge out of Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart.
There it is.
There it is. They picked up Shamar Stewart. I mean, 6'5", 265. The same body type as Mykel Williams. He's exactly Mykel Williams. Now, he's yoked up a little different, okay? Shamar is a grown man. No technique. No technique. He's so raw. And this is the guy that Coach Kasarik loved. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I'm so glad we stayed away from this kid. Awesome. But we're not running a kindergarten here where we're picking you up and then helping you how to count your blocks and put together your Capri Sun. We can't do that. Yeah. Shamar Stewart is going to be a good guy.
Shamar has the ability to be an all-pro if you can coach him up correctly and get things going. But in addition to being raw, I don't think his football IQ is that high.
No.
He doesn't know how to make a play.
Yeah, he doesn't finish. He doesn't disengage.
Right.
I don't see it.
And that's a bigger coaching issue to me. Is you can coach him technique, and you can say, here's how you need to play, here's how you need to get off, here's how you convert speed to power, etc. But if you don't know where you need to be in the field, that's a big leap.
Hey, so here we go. Joseph for real. Oh, Joseph for real. Hold on. My name's said with eloquence. You're good, though. My name is Joseph, like soup, like pho. Okay. And real, no, like pho. See? Because you put in PA. There's some people that say pho, and there's some people that say pho. I'm a pho guy. It's pho. It's not pho.
It's pho. I have friends that are Vietnamese. They say pho.
If there's only one way to get me to punch you right between your eyes, Call pho.
Yeah.
All right.
It's fun.
It's pho. Okay. My name is Joseph like the soup. Pho. Okay. And real as toes to earth.
Turf.
Turf. Okay. So Armstead's plantar fasciitis was foot strength misdevelopment. Bro needed to miss tight toe box shoes. Oh, okay. It came together at the very end for me, Joseph. Thank you.
And that's a good point.
Definitely.
Plantar fasciitis, you got to get the shoes right.
Definitely. That is a degenerative injury. Like people know that once you get it, you can't. It's over. You have it. Yeah. So it is what it is. But another NFC West opponent is on the clock right now. Seattle's on the clock right now.
And they're thanking their lucky stars that all the talk about Gray Zable didn't play out. I think that that's the guy that they're going to want because they've got a huge need in the interior.
Oh, man. We just got our first some people done messed up tight. Shamar Stewart just said some people done messed up. Boy, you got drafted 17th overall. And you talk about somebody done messed up. Be happy.
Be grateful.
What is wrong with him?
Yeah. It feeds the immaturity.
What is wrong with these little whippersnappers?
The talk on Shamar is just that he's not ready for primetime.
That right there is emblematic of just that.
Right.
You in the biggest moment of your life, you get up there with bed sheets on and a hat, and they ask you how you feel, and the first thing you want to do is start taking names and kicking asses?
Okay.
Man, Shamar Stewart, bro, I already see it, bro.
It's looking like another bullet dodged.
Bro.
The Niners are playing dodgeball in this draft, and they're doing well.
Yo, they're moving quick, Tom. They're walking out onto the Seattle must know who they want. It's going in so quick. Who do you think they want?
Zable.
18th pick, 2025 NFL draft. The Seattle Seahawks select. How did you call that shit? Greg fucking Zable, North Dakota State.
Because what the Seahawks...
He's going to play guard, is he?
Yeah. Though he could play center. They've got a need at both positions. But remember, I'm from Seattle, so I've got sort of an inside word here as far as what's going on with the Hawks. So I get more information than I should on another team just because of where I live.
Not mad at that.
So yeah.
Give me the deets on Greg Zable.
Zable tested well, and he played exceptionally well at Mobile, where people were saying, okay, let's see what this North Dakota State kid can do against the top level competition. And he shined. He played very well in the one-on-ones and won a lot of people over. And he showed, pro technique. He showed that he could play at center and guard. He got snaps at both positions. And he proved himself. It's just everybody said, okay, this guy can play.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle has a huge need in the interior line. So that pick writes itself because their need is that huge. It's a crater that they've got inside.
I mean, one thing that you love about Seattle is that Seattle is going to run the ball. Hold on, wait a minute. What the hell is this? Sorry. One thing about Seattle is they're going to run that damn ball, Tom. So
now they can. That's part of it is that they wanted to run the ball and couldn't. Now with Zable inside, in theory, they should do a lot better now.
Yeah.
There's talk here that they were looking at shopping the running backs. I don't think that's necessary. I think they just need to get an offensive line.
Okay. So Tampa's on the clock right now. The draft is moving, bro. I love this. I'm very happy with the draft just simply because we got our guy.
Well,
Tom, I'm so happy, Tom. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy for you. It's just the key thing is that they get the pick right for once, and the weight of the world lifts off our shoulders. All the anxiety is gone.
Gone.
And when the draft went that way in the top 10, where it's Mason Graham goes, Kelvin Banks goes, it's just, this is our year.
I mean, you couldn't have picked a better guy. I mean, we needed on just the attitude, the youth, the versatility. He's going to look so good in our colors. Oh, he's going to look good. Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. We got somebody that can actually chase. The speed of the defense is picked back up, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But, yeah, Val, I know. I'm happy for Coach. Yeah, because he's getting what he wants. And in a Niner draft, that doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen, bro. It doesn't happen, man.
I go back to the really bad old days. I can tell you that we thought that some of these Niner picks were bad. Go back to the 70s. Early 70s, the Niners were so clueless. Their first-round pick was a 5'9" white wide receiver from Auburn. And the reason he got his stats is because the guy throwing him the ball was the Heisman Trophy winner, Pat Sullivan.
Keep me away from the bleach. There's no way in the world that I'd be able to put up with that.
Right. And you're just saying, what in the world? Who? And they made a lot of those picks. So I would just say be grateful that now we're in a much different place and a better one.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, the Niners literally had no clue. It's amazing that they had good teams in the early 70s because some of those picks, I mean, Terry Beasley, you kidding me?
I got to be honest, man. I'm still looking at the chat, and who could have been angry? Okay, if you didn't like the pick or it wasn't what you expected, I get that, right? I get that. But why do you hate the pick? That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Could you build the case, Tom? Let's just try, because right now I want us to just take a moment. We're inside of our own little bubble right now. We're not listening to the yakety yaks. We have no idea what anybody else thinks until we get off of this show. But I'm reading the chat, and I'm seeing some people in here that are bouncing around, and I get it. They're going from channel to channel. But sure, how could you hate the pick?
Okay, a couple of things. One,
I read it too. Another Robert Beal?
No, it's not Beal. That's not the issue.
Beal didn't play at all at UGA. They are two different. That's not the same thing.
Beal was picked for one specific trait, fast get off. That was
because his get off. That was it.
Yeah. So that's not a parallel. So if someone were to say, okay, Michael Williams, terrible pick, why would they be coming at that way?
Mm-hmm.
They would look at the 40 time at Indy, 477. It's pretty slow.
That's, yeah.
161 in the 10. That's pretty slow too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they look at the production and say, 6 sacks, not a lot. But then you back up and say, but wait a minute, he was playing hurt. And Georgia was tailoring their defense to make Jalen Walker the playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
So they were using Michael in a way to basically backstop Walker. And it works for their defense to a degree. But you have to apply that context. So, one, Williams was hurt. That's an issue. And he said that he was playing hurt most of the year. 2, he's really young. He hasn't really had a lot of experience playing ball. 3, he wasn't the focal point of the defensive scheme, clearly.
Right.
And 4, you look at it and just say, look at the body type, look at his age, look at what he's accomplished so far. How can you not project going forward that he'll succeed? I mean, I had my issues with Williams. My main concern with Williams is pass rusher. I'm not convinced that he's going to be a great pass rusher, especially early. But I think that he can become one. And you look at somebody like this and you say, okay, he needs a lot of coaching up, and let's see if that injury played into his time at Indy. Was he fully healthy when he ran 477? I don't know. I would like the answer to that.
Me as well.
If he wasn't fully healthy, then that explains things. If he was fully healthy, that's a concern. and they're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. But it still remains that what you need most is what Williams does best, and that's a great pairing for any draft pick.
Also, you know what I love about this pick too, and I'm gonna steal. I'm gonna steal your point, Postal Prince, because I feel the same way. We got younger, quicker, and we actually are helping the guys that are already there. Nick Bosa gets real help, not a smattering of players that we picked up over free agency and got off the road, and we're trying to throw 10,000 cuts to make one. No, man. Actually got something where everybody gets elevated, not just a position. What was so great about the Dominic Pooney pick is because Dominic came in and he elevated the entire offense, not the line, the offense. This kid with what he can do, man, especially with Robert Solomon. I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of the draft, man. This is a great cornerstone. All right.
Yeah.
It's a great cornerstone pick.
It's a foundation for what Solomon wants to do.
It's a foundational pick. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So hold on. We got a pick. The pick is in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With pick 19 in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select receiver out of Ohio State, Egbuka.
Oh, Emeka Egbuka. Okay.
Emeka Egbuka. That's the first receiver. Tech did get picked up. The second receiver.
Third, really, because Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, right. So, I love the pick. Our pick. Forget that pick. So.
Well, Egbuka fits for Tampa because they need a receiver that can block with Mike Evans is in sunset.
Yeah.
So that's part of what their offense is going to need. And they've got some things that they're going to need to work on. But apparently Egbuka is just a really solid dude. A lot of the talk before the draft was there were two people that just killed their interviews, and Egbuka was one of them. And I think that probably played into him getting picked here.
Well, don't look now, but the 19th pick just got picked, right? And we're moving on to 20, which is the Denver Broncos. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think we have a little bit of time to dip into some draft drama. If Shedeur does not get picked up by the Steelers, where does he go, Tom?
Second round. And
I don't think he's getting picked up in the first round. I got to bet. Hey, Marcus. I'm saying it on camera. Marcus, if Shedeur Sanders don't get drafted in the first round, you best to come up off my bread. I made a very sizable 4-figure bet. If Shedeur does not get drafted in the first round, don't disappear on me. Don't you disappear on me. I know he watching too. It's close because right now we at 21. If he gets past the Steelers, it's over.
Yeah. Because the rest of the teams already have their quarterback.
Yeah.
Because you're picking late. You're picking playoff teams now. But this is interesting, Denver, 20, is that this could be Trevion Henderson here. And you're talking about a guy that coached Alvin Kamara and schemed for him, and now here's Kamara too. Mm-hmm. That could be an interesting pick for Denver if that's what they want to do.
I'm going to tell you this.
They can also look at Amarian Hampton.
Amarian Hampton just looks like he's built to wear that orange and blue, don't he?
Yeah.
He does look sexy in that orange. He could look good in that orange and blue, man.
Yeah.
He looked good.
The Terrell Davis and all that. You get the big back in the orange and blue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm close, y'all. I'm talking trash now because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was nervous at first. Me and my boy made a bet. You know what I'm saying? I was nervous at first. But now that we're at 20, I'm feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? I have a question right here. Postal Prince, Coach, what position do you think we're drafting at 43? Defensive tackle will set our defense on fire. I think we should double down, go defense again. I really do. Let's be where our feet are. If somebody does fall to us, like a Connely, that's almost a crapshoot. I doubt that. But players like that, we would have to pick him, right?
Right. And that's the answer to this question from Postal Prince. It depends on who's there.
Mm-hmm.
If Connely is there, if they like Simmons and he's there, either one of those guys could be the pick at 43.
Right.
If there's a running back that survives to 43, be it Trevion or Hampton, either one of them, I would take a look at that guy at 43 too.
Denver's on the clock, man. The pick is in, bro. Dude, oh my God. Yo, Frisco is awesome. What if Jackson Dart gets picked before Shedeur Sanders?
At 21. Ouch.
Oh! That would be nuts.
Oh, that'd be interesting. All right, well, let's see what Denver does. I'm interested.
Well, the pick's in. Sean Payton is just standing there. I wonder what they need all those laptops for. Why does everybody have a laptop?
Who knows?
You know, I was one of those coaches that didn't like players wearing like unnecessary stuff. I'd be like walking around snatching gloves and visors and tape. Like, you don't even start.
Yeah, just play. Just play.
Take that spat off.
Right.
Run a 4.5. The pick is in.
Okay.
This is like giving old like Big Ten college football vibes. That's what the crowd is giving me.
Okay. Well, but it fits. That's the region.
Yeah, they're playing like country home. They're playing country roads. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bill Smith, my guy, lets me know at Coach's Huddle, I'm so impressed that you're relatively late arrival to the scene and how polished your production quality is. You're killing it, Coach. Much respect. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. Me and Tom do a lot of hard work to put these shows together. Believe it or not, we've been on the phone back and forth for months talking about how we're going to set this up and do these things. And, you know, don't come on, man. You know I'm a softie, man. Don't give me all the, you know, when I get thankful, I break character.
Yeah.
I love you. You're my guy.
Love you too, Coach.
All right. So,
Bill, thanks for the kind words, Bill. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the kind words, Bill. That really meant a lot for us.
We work hard to try to bring that to being, where it's you get a higher level production because of all the work the coach puts into this.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of work, ton of love for just getting this done right.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
It's great to be able to do that.
Denver Broncos select with the 20th pick overall in the 2025 NFL Draft. Defensive back, Texas, Jahdae Barron.
Okay.
I like that pick.
That's a great pick because that fits the division.
Jahdae with Pat Surtain. Woo!
Yeah.
Denver going to be nasty.
You want to get past Kansas City? One of the ways to do it is use Jahdae to
get some DBs.
The thing that I loved about Jahdae this year was making Jeremiah Smith disappear in the playoffs. That's nice.
Dude, what doesn't Jahdae Barron do?
Yeah.
Jahdae Barron is a force. I love the kid. I think the world of him.
Me too.
And he's a good character guy too. You know, Jahdae Barron is somebody, you know, you just love to have him on your team. He plays everything. I think that Denver got a good one. Jahdae Barron's the truth.
We got a Jahdae Barron card, so they want us to change out Walter Nolan so we can put up Jahdae.
Oh, definitely. So let me go ahead and just, since we have a card, we got a graphic too. So hold on. All right. So let's put up the Jahdae Barron card. That's Mike Green. That's Omar Norman Lott. I don't see it. The Jahdae Barron card.
I sent it to you earlier today, but well. Anyway, we've already talked about Jahdae.
Yeah, Jahdae's the truth.
Sub 4.4 speed, can play inside, can play outside, can play safety.
He can play everywhere.
And he stays in phase. He plays downhill. He tackles well. That's going to be a great piece for Denver.
Yeah, I mean, I can go over my notes that I have for Jahdae Barron as well, too. So one thing that I love about Jahdae Barron is just his size. And he's just a compact, do-it-all guy. 6 foot, 200 pounds, sub 4'3" guy. He plays at 4'3". He closes at 4'3". Big difference. One thing that I love about him is that he's an elite processor. He diagnoses everything on the field. He kind of plays a step ahead of everybody. Knows how to diagnose route combinations in real time, not pre-snap. And he watches. One thing that I love about him that's very hard to do as a DB is that he jumps switch releases. Usually corners, they wait to jump routes as soon as the release is already there so they can get clean. But Jade is so good at being able to process route combinations. He jumps switch releases on different routes combinations, which I love. He's got exceptional plant and drive ability that shows up repeatedly on the field. He's got high-level zone instincts that allow him to bait quarterbacks, what we just talked about. But also one thing about him is that he goes physical on the other side when man-to-man. He's physical press technique at the line despite his average length, and he has patient feet with strong hands. The recognition skills also come in not with just post-snap, but during the play. He's got nasty route recognition skills where I've seen him run routes for receivers, actually running routes where he's leading you to the ball. And lastly, another thing that I think that he does not get a credit for, he's a special teams ace. I've seen him not only punt return, kick return, but this dude's a gunner on punt. He's an L3 blocker on kick return. This dude does everything. So Denver not only got themselves a guy that's going to play his position, but Jade Barron may be returning picks for them. He may be doing everything. It's a great pick for them. 21st pick, here we go. Steelers. The Steelers select. They select Derek Harmon. Shador's falling, bro. Do you know that was David Lombardi's pick for the Niners? 11th overall.
11.
What the hell, David?
Captain Condescension strikes again.
Come on now, David. What are you talking about? 11th overall.
11. And the other thing with Harmon is he's got medicals.
Yeah.
They're worried about cartilage. There's some reports that say they're worried about spine. I'm surprised that Pittsburgh took him.
Shador is falling.
Second round.
Falling.
The only way Shador goes in the first is if the Giants or somebody else trades back into the first to get him.
Nobody's trading back into the first to go get Shador.
Well, they don't need to because he's not going to be picked by any of these teams. I mean, look at all the teams that are left. It's some of the best quarterbacks in the league. There's a couple of people that are gone, but most of those picks are the best QBs in the NFL.
All right, so let's go there then, right? Because this seems to be the story of the draft. Shador Sanders is falling, and I called this. I said that he wasn't a first round pick.
Yeah.
So first of all, you feel I don't know, man. Do you feel bad for him? I don't know.
No.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
I think that he's kind of carried some expectations of, he's telling teams, I expect to start. You shouldn't be saying that stuff. It's just show some gratitude.
Who the hell do you think you are, Shador?
Right. Is to show the patience to know that you still need to learn some things to play in the league.
Tom, you can't flash a $100,000 watch in people's faces for a full football season and expect them to think that you're a humble kid. Sue me. Right. I'm a slave to optics. My bad. But you can't do that. I don't know. So right now the Chargers are on the clock. That's a no-go. Green Bay, hell no. Minnesota, no. Texans, that's laughable.
Yeah.
The Rams,
yeah, maybe, but I don't think so. The Rams have other needs. They got
could be the Rams.
They need DB. They need tackle. They need a linebacker. They need a running back. I don't think the Rams go QB at 26.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the Rams first of all, if he gets past the Rams, he's for sure going in the second round. After the Rams,
unless the team trades in, but there's no reason for him to do that.
I don't see anybody that would do it. Maybe
No.
Maybe the Giants?
Well, the Giants in the second. There's no reason for them to trade up because none of these teams that are drafting for the rest of the first round are going to take Shedeur.
Why somebody said Shedeur is the new Bronny? That's crazy. Y'all are ruthless, man.
Come on now.
Dan said Shedeur Bronny to L.A. Hey, yo.
That's cool, man.
Hey, man, y'all ain't got no sense. Frisco says put a quarter. Oh, come on. He played himself. He did. Hey, look. Shedeur, I'll put it like this. If you found out that your doctor was homeschooled all the way into medical school, would you be confident in that doctor?
I would be looking for a second and third opinion.
So if you think about it, if you went and got a doctor and you found out that the doctor was homeschooled and you're about to get a surgery and you found out he was homeschooled all the way up until he got his residency, wouldn't you feel a little weird about taking that doctor on?
You wouldn't do it.
That's how I feel about Shedeur, dog. I feel like if your father has coached you all the way into the league, and then now you're just a can't miss prospect, I don't know, bro. I can't. I'm on the table. It's my life. What do you want from me?
You're not making a decision like that.
You couldn't have took night classes at Johns Hopkins or something? You couldn't have got something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't take no wellness coach when I got cancer. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Right.
So with Shedeur,
there's levels.
Come on, man. You're not going to tell me that y'all dad and son this shit all the way to the league. Come on, dog.
No.
Even Arch.
That's why he goes to the second.
Come on, man. Arch had to send Peyton to Tennessee. All right. Elway's had to send John to Stanford. All right. The Marinos sent Dan to Pittsburgh. You can't hold that boy's hand all the way through college and ain't nobody going to say, I wonder if he's good. You do play with your daddy all the time. Another thing that kind of kills me about Shedeur, too, is that if you look at his career, Shedeur didn't really have no stars coming out of that Truth high school that he played with. He even went to some homeschool situation with Dion, where Dion was the head coach there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played at some academy called Truth Academy. And then they took Truth. He had two schools that liked him in college. Dion held his hand through all of that. Then on top of it, they tried to do at Jackson State first. They tried to do that first at FSU. And FSU told Dion,
No.
You need to you can be an assistant coach. We'll walk you on the way up.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I've kind of seen this whole Shedeur thing coming for a while, bro. Whatever.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk just because Big Daddy Kane is one of the two rappers I know. Big Daddy Kane and Kool Moe Dee rapped on Quincy Jones' album, Back on the Block. They did a rap for Birdland. It was great. But they're the only two I know. I know nothing else. I'm the anti-grad. I don't know any rappers.
Excuse the hell out of me, Tom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, man.
Good stuff. Great tune.
Chargers are on the clock.
Okay. I think Dak, Travion, or Omarion Hampton makes a lot of sense for them.
Omarion Hampton would be amazing for the Chargers right now. I know that they need a run game to protect Justin Herbert. Even with what he does, Coach Harbaugh is going to protect Justin. They're going to get a I think they'll get it back right here. As far as needs are concerned, team needs.
It's a need for them. They need more balance in their offense.
Okay, well, number one team need is D tackle, though. They need a wide receiver and a tight end. You know they have no offense.
Right. They got a quarterback and not much else. That's why you need to add somebody like Travion or Hampton.
All right, so the pick is in. You know, Matt Golden's still out there. Receiver out of Texas.
Yeah, that's a good call, Coach.
Let's see what we got. Our boy Jahad Campbell's still out there too.
Word is he's going to go in the second because of all the medical stuff.
Damn it.
Yeah. Too bad. I really like him, but
there is so much dead time in the draft, bro. Like
unnecessary dead time too.
Tomorrow is 10 minutes of round 2, right? Or is it down to 5?
Yeah, it's fast. I think it's 10.
Or is it 10, 7, 5 for the rest of the draft?
Yeah, 10 only for the second round.
Okay.
Up.
So it's 10, 10, 5 for the rest of the draft.
I don't know if it's 10, 10, second and third. It might be 10.
No. The first round is 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first round's 15, isn't it? And then
first round's 10.
10? Yeah. Yeah, it won't drag out tomorrow. It'll move.
It'll be round robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do. You want to do the draft tomorrow? Definitely going to do it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Come in here and talk, man. Right now, not Pittsburgh, but the Chargers. I'm so shocked. Well, I'm not shocked, but I thought that they were going to help them out. Come on, Chargers. The draft is in Green Bay this year?
Yeah.
They can't do this again.
They won't. They're going around the whole
They got him. They got him. The 22nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select running back out of North Carolina, Amarion Hampton. Great pick.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Harbaugh
they need it.
They got to have balance in that offense.
Yeah, they need that O-line too.
Yeah. Well, they drafted Alt last year. That's part of the process of building this team up. Harbaugh knows what he's doing.
Love it. Amarion went in the first round. How many backs is that? Only 2?
2. Trevion's still there, so it's only 2 so far.
Green Bay is up. Green Bay's on the clock. Amarion Hampton just got picked up. They love to pound that rock, man. It's going to be good, man. I like the Chargers having a tough-nosed team, man.
They have to get more physical. That's
right.
Part of the way that they can win that division. All the draft is, to me, the first goal of any draft is, what do we need to do to win the division?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what an Amarion Hampton pick does for the Chargers. Puts them in play.
So we got to see what Denver's going to do. Well, not Denver, but Green Bay.
They need DB. But with Will Johnson falling into the second because of the medicals, it's...
Yeah, oh, my God. How about that? Will Johnson is falling big time, isn't he?
Well, that was expected. Once the medicals came out, I mean, that doctor's report that I read on Twitter was just devastating. You read that and you come out of it and say, I'm not sure this guy can even play at the same level he was at in Michigan.
Yeah.
It was mind-blowing to read that. It was just saying it might not ever happen again for him. It was really sad to read. But so for Green Bay, so you got Hariston from UK. You've got Trey Amos from Ole Miss. Those are the DBs.
Mm-hmm. Hariston's at the draft right now. That's our boy from KU, right? UK?
UK, yeah. Kentucky.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Hariston's got the speed, and he's been getting some buzz before heading into this draft is that with Will Johnson dropping, Hariston fills the void, and Amos. Both of them are thought of highly. They're expected to go in the first.
Mm-hmm. So Green Bay's taking their sweet time too.
They're at home. They're going to milk it. Drafts in Green Bay, they're going to use the entire clock.
I will say this. We are not doing Green Bay again. It's just the energy of the draft is dead. For those of you who are watching the draft in the chat, do y'all think the draft is dead? First of all, let me say this. I think what's really killing it is they have like a Grateful Dead size of people at this draft. And I think that's what's taking away from the draft. I've never seen the draft this large, and there's so many people there that you almost need a band in between the picks to keep them entertained. Like the way I'm looking at the crowd right now is that if I saw this crowd for the draft, waiting just to say a 25-year-old kid's name is not enough. They should have had a full-fledged band playing at all times, and they could have really made this a show. And they got the money to do it. Or you know what they really could have did? You know what they should have done? They could have, with all of these people, because like only like maybe the first 20,000 people in here are actually going to be able to see the stage, right?
Yeah.
And actually see who walked on the stage. They should have the stage in the middle of the crowd.
True. Yeah, circling around, or whatever you call it. But yeah.
Like they're doing ground shots of people. You know how usually when they do ground shots of the crowd, it's like it's tight knit. You can tell that it's like the energy's there. This shit looks like Coachella. It looks depressing.
The crowd is on autopilot.
You know they're tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is a crowd where you just can't use the bathroom. Like whoever's like in the middle of that crowd, they're done.
Right.
And then then they did it stupid. There's like an inner mezzanine too with like personal. It's like Niners practice. You know how like the Niners have like all of like the people that matter, all of the family of the players and stuff. They all sit on the other side of the field in like white seats they get a canopy over top of them. Oh, man. The players stop and talk to them. I mean, it's real nice over there. But when we go to camp and we get stuck in the corner, bro, they treat us like they're putting us on the train carts at Auschwitz, bro. Like, it's bad. Like, they're like throwing us in the corner like, whoa. 9, stand up. Whoa. No. Like, you can't go into certain areas. You can't sit where you want. They make you walk up the bleachers single file. They make you walk up the bleachers single file. Like, it's wild, bro.
It'll go single file.
Single file! Kyle is not ready for practice yet.
It's the football practice equivalent of first class in an airplane.
Yeah.
Or coach.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what's going down. But anyway, back to the draft. Green Bay, I think that they could go DB. The other thing that would be of concern for the Niners is Green Bay is a possibility of tackle here.
Mm-hmm.
They could look at Connely or Simmons. They could go.
Yeah. Yo, Frisco's stupid. Papers. Let me see your papers.
Please.
I am an essential worker.
No ticket.
Come on. I am essential to the war effort. Goodness, boy. I didn't think we was going to get out of there the way they was keeping us. Walking past. Look at the black one. Look at him.
Oh, man. That stuff makes me uncomfortable when I go to
I got a dark sense of humor. My bad.
What are you doing, people?
Look at him. He looks like he's good for labor. I'm a chill, bro. So, all right. The pick is in.
Okay. Good.
It's pick 123. It's pick 23 for the Packers. And right now, they're trying to.
You're milking this baby dry.
They are, bro. Like I'm trying so hard to
wake the crowd up.
Right. And like we almost went down a dark hole of getting my channel cut off.
And
I like veered away from that and like was still waiting for the pick to come in.
You will stop with this nonsense now.
Stop with this stop.
Yeah, do Arnold instead. Get to the chopper now.
You're taking all day, Roger. Hurry up. Tell us the pick.
It's not a tumor.
Yes. You're annoying me, Raja. All right, here we go.
Come on, Packers.
Making a historic pick. Dog, this shit is like a CPAC convention. It is so boring.
Drag.
I want you to give a round of applause for 1952's 31st pick of them all.
In memory of the pony.
This is the best draft in the history of the NFL. On behalf of the Packers, finally. He's trying not to say the pick now.
Well, I said they were going to milk the clock dry. They've got 50
My word.
You knew they were going to do this. It's the draft's in Green Bay. You know this would happen.
He's doing a read and recall in the crowd. Raise your hands. How many of you are owners? Did he donate to the draft or something? How does he get so much of a captive audience?
Who is this?
It's a Packers guy.
Oh.
He still has not said the name. He will never get the mic again. He will never get the mic. It took him all of this time to say Matthew Golden. The Packers have selected Matthew Golden.
Okay. That's a good pick for them. They need receiver help. But the good news for the Niners is that's a team that could have taken a tackle late first and didn't.
They got a receiver.
And a good one.
Yeah, I think Matthew Golden's a very good receiver. I think he's athletic. His speed translates, He's more than a burner. He actually has good routes. Yeah. He's just a little on the smaller side. Right. That's one thing about him. But he'll do good with Christian Watson. I like what they have. They got a run-first attack, so you can definitely tell they're going to be using him to take the top off the defense. Right. Definitely keep guys honest in the secondary. It's good for the Packers. Everybody needs to get drafted somewhere. Solid pick for the Pack. What do you think, Tom?
I like how it rounds out their skill sets in the wide receiver room. They've got different flavors, and that's a good
okay.
thing.
The Vikes are on the clock.
Okay.
Gotta love the pick, though.
Yeah. So Minnesota needs guard, defensive tackle, safety, DB, running back. Guard. All right. Here.
Then he needs a guard. You think a guard is way too high right here.
Probably. Unless you're in love with Donovan Jackson, I don't see a point in taking a guard here.
What do you think?
Safety.
Talik Williams, Nick Emenwarmy.
Yeah. Emenwarry.
Emenwarry, sorry.
Emenwarry and Starks are still both on the board. So I think that would be a good value pick for Minnesota here.
Vikings need a safety bad. Eamon would be an awesome pick.
Yeah, agreed.
Love the pick. So right now we're moving. Minnie's on the clock at 24. What's that? 8 picks left in the draft?
Yeah, in the first. Well, we did the important thing. We got out of the Green Bay pick, so now we're not going to have a 10-minute liturgy of just dragging the thing out to the bitter end. So we'll see. Bradley Brown says no safety goes in the first. That's typically what happens, but
Sean Taylor went in the first.
Eamon tested so well that maybe he makes a name for himself, and Starks is well thought of too. So there's value on the board. If you're a team that's looking for a safety, this is a great spot to take one.
All right, man. Vikings are on the clock. Time to see what they got.
They're asking us in the chat to take down Kelvin Banks. Just don't.
Oh, that is so true. Hold on. Kelvin Banks is not the.
We can celebrate that though.
Yeah. We I know. Taking down Kelvin Banks.
That's our victory lap for the entire first round.
We're keeping Kelvin Banks up like a pelt on the wall. We're not celebrating him. He's more of a trophy that we hunted down for 3 months and found him. So like that's it's not so much of where it's a trophy. It's a taxidermy type thing. You know what I mean? That's what Kelvin Banks represents to us right now. We're posting him up here for all to see as an example to never do this again.
Don't do this. I love it. You would have it on the wall. You would have just his face inside the helmet.
Yes. Yeah. In a 3-point stand. Oh, man. If the Ravens took Eamon Wormy.
Oh, man. Eamon Wormy and Hamilton.
They basically have linebackers at safety.
Yeah.
And they can run. And you know what's crazy? E-Man's got the speed to actually play free.
Yeah.
And the ball skills.
Yep. And the physicality to take on the linebacker stuff if they want to bring him up.
Definitely.
I mean, you want to talk about simulated pressure in your safeties or Hamilton and Eamon Wormy?
Eamon Wormy is, 6'3", 225. Vikings picks us up. See what they got. With the 24th pick. With the 24th pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings pick guard. Wow. Donovan Jackson.
We just
Ohio State.
Yeah. Okay. It is early enough to take Donovan Jackson, man. I love him. I love Donovan Jackson.
Yeah.
I think he'll be an elite guard in the league. And he proved just how much. I love the football character of a guy that says, okay, Simmons went down, I'll take over at tackle, and he holds down.
He played so good at left tackle for Simmons, man. That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. You got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, he's a dog. I love my guys in the trenches, man. He's a dog. Ho. Wait a minute. We're developing a trade, Tom.
Uh-oh.
The New York Giants have just traded back into the first round.
You better hope
Giants,
Jackson Dart.
Houston has just sold the 25th overall pick, traded the 25th overall pick to the New York Giants. The New York Giants are top 25 right now. They're in the 25th pick in the first round, and they're on the clock.
There goes your Shedeur bet, man.
Shedeur, oh God, Shedeur. You think they're gonna come up and get Shedeur?
Yeah, because he's the one that they spent all the time on, where ownership said we want Shedeur, and this is the compromise: is that they take Carter at 3, provided that they then trade back into the first to get Shedeur. Internal conflict is, they could take Dart, but I think they'll take Shedeur because they spent so much time on it.
If they took Dart, do you understand how great? And you know what else?
I'd love it, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, they're gonna take Shedeur.
Yeah, you do this, you're coming up for Shedeur, and it's resolving the internal drama in New York.
Yeah.
Basically, what happened was they said you can get Carter at 3, provided you also trade up for Shedeur. Both sides get what they want. But there was a lot of reporting out of New York that there was a lot of drama, a lot of conflict of basically ownership saying we want Shedeur and Dayball saying I don't. And now they're going to trade up and get Shedeur.
Well, it's a good for him. It's a good fit for him as far as cachet. He goes to a big city.
I hope it's Dart. I would love it if it's Dart. It doesn't make sense. You spend all that time on Shedeur and then you take Dart.
I mean, it ain't like you really need to throw a smoke screen around either. You know what I mean? Yo, Brandley is hilarious.
Oh, man. If it's Dart,
that would be crazy.
That would be epic.
I mean, God. So if you imagine climbing to the second round. I mean, falling into the second round and then having the team come back into the first round that actually spent time with you all summer and it wasn't you. If this isn't Shedeur, the NFL, this is a message. They're sending a message to Shedeur.
Yeah, if this is Dart.
If this is Dart, this is a message. Yeah. Like if they
doesn't make sense. They spend all that time on Shedeur and then to not take it.
I'll also say too, if this kid doesn't get picked up in the first round, Dion has something to do with this too.
Oh, no question.
All of that talking and shit. All right. New York just traded the second pick, the third pick, and next year's third pick. They traded their first round pick and 2/3 and a second to get back into the first round.
That's the power of ownership saying you.
Shedeur is happy. Yeah. He seems like he's smiling and laughing.
It has to be Shedeur.
But the whole place ain't going crazy though. They all just sitting there talking. They said it doesn't look like he knows. And they're shaking hands. The pick is in. Shedeur doesn't look like he's happy though.
Wow, if they take Dart, my God.
If they take Dart, they really didn't give up a lot to get back in the first round.
That's a pretty heavy price to pay when you consider they're at the top of the second.
They gave up their second. They give up a third.
And a future.
They give up next year's third.
It's a lot.
Which is a comp pick.
Well, you're thinking Niners. I don't know if the Giants have comp picks or not.
They said that just now on air.
Oh, they did? Okay. Then it's not as bad as I thought. I thought that it was going to be New York's actual third-round pick. That would have been overpay.
This is why I love football, though, because for some reason, cream always rises to the top, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's like all of the speculation, all of the back and forth, it's like they don't always get it right, but most of the time they do. So let's see what they do, man. The pick is in. Let's see what they do, bro. All right, okay. So if he doesn't get picked up here, he's not falling. He's definitely not getting picked up in the first round.
No,
I don't think he's falling. But
this was his only chance.
So let's go.
Back into the first.
Here we go, Tom. One time. Here it is. Why is he walking so slow to the podium? With the 25th pick in the 25 draft, the New York Giants select Jackson Dart. No!
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. Welcome to the big league, Shedeur.
Whoa!
Oh. Wow.
Shedeur Sanders, welcome to the NFL. We don't care who your daddy is.
Nope. That's the ultimate slap right there. Jackson Dart. My gosh.
That is a lame-ass draft party, though. Jackson Dart's draft, nobody's happy. All of them motherfuckers got money. Nobody seems like his life just changed. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Jackson can pay his own car note. Awesome.
Well,
now you can pay your own. Now you can pay for your own tea time at the golf club.
Indeed.
Like this was not even like this wasn't even like you could tell they felt the money. Like everybody was like, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah.
We got to go see the accountant. See exactly how you came up.
Do you have any great?
Nobody was moved by the moment at all.
At all.
They were like, "This is nice, Jackson. Now you have a hobby, okay?"
Wow. Shedeur.
Enough of this snowboarding stuff now, okay? Now you're in the NFL.
Wow.
All right, so let's go. Oh, man. Jackson Dart gets picked up by the Giants.
How do you deal with that as the Sanders family?
I mean, you know, you wouldn't have to deal with it if you would keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know, Dion did a lot of talking. Like, I guarantee you he's going in the first round. Remember, he said that Shiloh was getting picked up in the first round. Shiloh's going in the first round too. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Dion?
Okay.
This is the world's biggest job interview, dog. You can't rubber stamp this. You know what I mean? And you know what is perfect karma for all of this? Jackson Dart is trash too. Like, yeah. He's gonna struggle too, bro.
Well, this is a bad quarterback class.
You traded back up for Jackson Dart, though?
That's a bad deal for New York. But okay. But again, it's why do the bad teams stay bad? Stuff like this.
I'm about to text my friend. I want my bread. I'm about to text my man.
Not out of the first yet.
Yo, we're not out of the first. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call his ass right now on Bluetooth. Hold on. I'm gonna call his ass.
Oh, man.
He better pick up the phone too. Pick up the phone, boy. Hey. Hold up.
James Spears Jr.
Hey, I got you on the stream right now. Boy, watch your mouth. I got you on the stream right now. Hey, Shedeur looks like he's falling out the first round, brother.
He's not coming.
Huh?
It's not happening, man.
Hey, do you remember this little wager that you and I made about Shador not making the first round? Do you remember that, sir?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, man. Hey, let's see our time. Let's see our time.
okay. I'm just saying. My funds, my office hours are between 9 to 5. Don't make me
Oh, man.
beats, dog. My office numbers are between 9 to 5. I need my bread.
You call me on your, what you call me, the bat phone?
Right now, bro. You on live right now.
I'm on live. Oh, wow. Okay.
I want my bread, bro.
Listen, I am very surprised about this shit. I'm not gonna lie. Jackson fucking Dart, man. I don't know.
It is what
somebody might jump in though. Somebody might jump in the first round.
All
Let's get time.
Tell me how that goes, man. I'll talk to you after the show.
Yeah, peace, man.
All right. I just had to handle a couple of things, man. It's time for me to get my money, Tom. I needed my bread.
It's time to collect.
Yeah, it's time to collect, bro. Hey, right now, the Falcons select James Pierce Jr., 26 overall, edge out of Tennessee.
Okay.
I'll take that.
They haven't had a pass rush in forever, and they double up at edge. Jalen Walker and James Pierce.
I like that.
That's a lot of speed. That's good stuff.
Can they stop the run, though?
No. But that's for another day. Right now, Atlanta needs to be moving on to be able to at least have a pass rush. Last year, they didn't.
Mm-hmm. So right now, there seems to be some big immaturity issues with James Pierce Jr. The Falcons were going to pick him up 15th overall.
Or they were looking at Mike Green. So they're looking past the character stuff. They're just saying that we want the talent. And they chose Pierce.
I like James Pierce Jr. I was out on him. I was out on him with the I was out on him when it came to his off the field stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about the pick?
I like it because they have to. I mean, they are one of the worst teams in the league at generating a pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly they see a need of saying that we've got an opportunity to get one of the fastest edges in years in Pierce, but they're going to have to deal with the issues of, is Pierce motivated to play? What about all the character stuff? Is he coachable? They must have thought he was, and I'm sure that he probably visited with them, and they assessed the character then.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the kid's talented. One thing that Jesse, I'm reminded of this with Jesse talking to me. What I'm reminded of is that he just disappears on film for me. What do you think about that?
He picks his spots. He's somebody that's playing for his own stats as opposed to playing for what the team needs. I think that's one of the big character problems that teams have with him.
Right.
Atlanta's figuring they must have had a better character meeting with him than the rest of the NFL because the league passed on Pierce. So,
man,
there's no denying the talent, though.
Man, so 26 gets picked up by the Falcons, and they picked up James Pierce Jr.
What did the Rams get from Atlanta?
That's a good question. All right. They don't have it up. I'm waiting for it. I'll give it to you.
Okay. Well, I was just curious, but
Baltimore's on the clock.
Yeah, and so Baltimore, they're going to be looking at defensive tackle, but if I'm the Ravens, I would take a long look at him and Warren Starks.
Yeah, I mean you're going to get the best safeties in the draft, hands down. And that's you know what I love about Baltimore is Baltimore. No matter where they pick, no matter what position they pick in, no matter how many picks they have in the draft, Baltimore always reminds you that they can pick better than you. Like right when you think there's no more like talent in the on the board, and it's just like, oh well, we already here comes Baltimore out of nowhere. Like you forgot about this guy.
Bang.
You know what I'm saying? Bang. Yeah, it's like they always still have like the ghost of Ozzie Newsome still around, man.
Well, the Costa learned well from Ozzie, but
yeah,
that's one of the things you have to value as an organization is some level of continuity at GM.
Mm-hmm.
That when you had somebody like Newsome, who was at his time the best in the league in talent evaluation, and then he mentors a guy who takes over and does the same thing. It's incredible. So there's a couple teams that are just very good at talent eval. Baltimore, Detroit, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows every year.
Man, Ozzie Newsome is still with the Ravens, bro.
That's cool. In sort of an advisory capacity or something, that'd be nice.
I mean, shit. If he's in the room, I'm gonna put it like this: if Ozzie Newsome's in the room, he damn sure ain't asking to give suggestions. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm Ozzie Newsome. Are you kidding me?
If Ozzie's in the room, it's like, motherfucker, I put on my good shoes for this.
Right.
Y'all better listen to me.
Well,
I climbed out. I missed Murder, She Wrote for this. You guys better pick who I tell you to so I can get back to watching in the heat of the night.
Oh, man.
Baltimore, 27th overall.
Ozzie, you look at those picks and you say, man.
Starks, I love that. You know what? Daryl A just made a comment. I love this. They're going to get Starks. They have to. Baltimore's all about getting the best of the best from any group. No safeties have gone off the board right now. It's got to be a safety.
Well, and he fits, and he fills the need, is that they need a coverage safety.
Malachi Starks.
There it is.
Good one, Daryl. Called it. Ravens select Malachi Starks out of Georgia, best safety in the draft.
Yep.
That's not fair, by the way. to pair Malachi Starks with Kyle Hamilton.
Hamilton, jeez.
That's not fair.
But then that's why Baltimore is so good every single year, because they're so great at talent eval.
Yeah. That's a hell of a pick.
Yeah. And that's finding value. That's using the draft. That's a team that knows exactly what it's doing, which is cool to see.
Another thing about him that's absolutely crazy is that I think that they got their next God, who's my boy? I'm ashamed of this because he's my boy. I'm a Bama fan. Cornerback that plays for the Ravens that came out of Bama. Older guy, older fella. Light-skinned guy. Damn. He's more of a leader for them. Anyway, Malachi Starks, what I do know about Malachi Starks.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Malachi Starks is a hell of an athlete. And one thing I like about him too is he's a big time leader.
Right.
It'd be a hell of. I mean, he's a Raven. He's ready to play. Humphrey, there we go. Marlon Humphrey.
Oh yeah, Marlon Humphrey. Right.
Yeah, in a sense, they got another Marlon Humphrey. They got another. Yeah.
He's I love that. I hate yogurt. Great name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love that name.
Absolutely right. And Marlon Humphrey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Humphrey did a lot of
Marlon Humphrey is a get.
Yeah. But adding Starks, it's just knowing the skill sets that fill your team.
Right.
How does this complement what we have? How does he fill a hole? How does he make our defense collectively better? There's a holistic point of view to this that the Ravens apply. Most teams don't. They look at the team collectively and say, how does this guy help us?
Right.
As opposed to, we need X, let's go get X. They say, we need a guy that does A, B, C, D, E, F, And if we plug them in, what's the impact on our total D?
Hey, yo,
Smart
you know what would be really petty? What would be really petty is if they cut the Shedeur Sanders at pick 32 of the draft.
Oh, man.
I'm petty Betty. I don't care.
If the director has a mean streak, it's possible.
Bro, if I was the producer of tonight, I'd just be like, hey, cut the Shedeur Sanders feed, please. They'd be like, the Eagles are on the clock. They may get him. Just cut to the feed. See what he's doing. Let's just see what he's up to. This is irrelevant.
It's just Schadenfreude.
The pick isn't in yet. They're taking their sweet time.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Well, they were hoping Donovan Jackson was going to fall to them. So I think Ezra Rocco is still there. Mike Green is still there. Ezra Rocco.
Mike Green is still there. I think the Commanders would get Mike Green. Commanders might get Mike Green. I know you don't like Jahad Campbell, but Commanders might go Jahad Campbell. They need linebackers in the worst way.
They do. I mean, I love Jahad. It's just that I hate the situation he's
The
in.
injuries.
But for Detroit, they need an edge. Has Ezra Rocco been taken yet? He might be there.
No.
Okay. But they also need guard, and so it's just who else is left at guard?
Kid out of Boston College.
Yeah.
This chick is trying to get him to cry so bad. You just held Roger Goodell for so long. You just gave me the biggest hug that I've ever had for the draft. What does that mean to you? Like, honestly.
Yeah, come on now.
She wants him to cry. She's just like,
Yeah, it's the goal. She's after that.
like, dude, stop.
Come on. This is
All right, come on. So let's go. Lions are on. Let's go. I'm hyped. Pick is in for the Lions. They're hugging. They got their guy. I never knew there was love like this before. Here we go. Wow. With the 28th pick in the 2025 draft, the Detroit Lions select Talik Williams, defensive tackle, Ohio State.
Ooh.
Now that's a get.
Okay.
I was hoping he hung around for us.
Brad Holmes, one of the best talent evaluators in the league. If not
Man, now that's a get.
The best.
I got to be honest.
I didn't see that coming.
Bro,
I thought
that's the first. This is the first time that I saw a player go that I was upset with.
Yeah. Well, and it's no
I
coincidence.
wanted him. I wanted Talik Williams. I wanted him bad.
Yeah.
God, this is the first guy that I felt this one. God.
Yeah. No coincidence that the guy that did that to you is Brad Holmes. And by anybody's measure, either the first or the second GM in the league in talent evaluation. And he just proved it again right here.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Well, you get
Talik Williams is a hell of a player, man.
Yeah, it's a good get.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I hate your girl. That's exactly what I'm about to say, man. He really showed off in the playoffs, man. He had an amazing run in the playoffs.
He and
So
JGP,
Detroit just got another guy. This kid is a problem.
Yeah.
4 picks left, guys. Damn, Talik Williams gone to Detroit.
Brad Holmes, man.
Brad Holmes, man. You got to love it, but.
Yeah, tip the cap.
Yeah.
Dude knows exactly what he's doing.
Yep. Commanders are on the clock.
Baltimore, Detroit, Philly. And we look at the latter end of the draft, and we're just saying, who's making the great picks? The best GMs.
Yeah. Brad Holmes is a guy. He's definitely a guy.
Right.
You know? But that one hurt me. God. Because on the low, when we were talking about 43, we were talking about Trey Sanders. But the only reason why I was talking about Trey Sanders is because I was hoping, in the second round, I'm like, Talik is going to get picked up. But, man, that one hurts.
You were editing yourself because you didn't think that Talik was going to make it to 43 anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true, Tom. Good point. Also, what do you think about Omar Norman Lott?
I'm worried about him with the knee. I tend to overreact on medicals, but he didn't get a lot of reps in Tennessee because of the knee. They wanted to take it lightly with him, so that's a worry.
Mm-hmm.
When he does play, dude's a beast. You look at his win rate, his true win rate, the numbers are off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
You can make the case that he's the best pass rushing defensive tackle, he and Nolan.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I want to do is I still want to select players from the inside out. We absolutely need to stop the run before we go get the pass. And that's one thing that I do love in Mikael Williams is that everybody wants to talk about going to get the quarterback, but you got to make it the third down first. You know what I mean?
So there's a balance. It's just that because the Niners defense is so depleted, especially up the seam, up the spine of the defense just isn't there. You got Fred and nothing else in terms of stopping the run, that you have to rebuild the team there first. But yeah.
Right now,
there's a lot of needs.
Commanders going Mike Green here?
Could be. Yeah, they certainly need an edge. They could also look at Ezeraku.
You think Will Johnson is somebody they want to get?
No. After reading that medical report, I don't think anybody's touching Will Johnson in the first.
They need a safety. Big Eman's there. Eman Worry.
And Trevion's there too.
They need O-line in the worst way too.
Yeah.
Their biggest thing though is that it's not their offense, it's their defense. They can't stop the run, they can't rush the passer, they can't do anything. So I'm gonna go with Mike Green here.
Okay. Well, that's the biggest need. Yeah, they need that, but are they willing to overlook the character concerns with Green with the ESA stuff? So we'll see. But Adam Peters making this pick, if he thinks the way the Niners do, he would be looking at Trevion here and Ezeraku.
Uh-oh. Pick is in. Shador is laughing and having a great time.
Well, he's got to put on a show now. He's got no choice.
So let me ask you this. So if you have the draft party, but you don't get drafted, do you have another draft party the next day?
That'd be out of form. That wouldn't look good.
Commanders look happy. It looks like they picked somebody on offense. Cliff Kingsbury looks happy. Look at Adam Pete. Man, look at Adam, bro. Man, I miss Adam. Bro, turn this off.
He's done a good job.
He's getting a lot of mileage out of that maroon blazer, though. He loves that maroon blazer. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Here we go. The Commanders picked up Josh Connely. That's a hell of a pick.
And that's Adam Peters thinking as a
That's
Niner.
Adam Peters right there, man. God
Yeah.
That's Adam Peters, man.
And that's
the pick.
That's the Niner history making that pick too. That's somebody that comes out of this organization and says, "I want Josh Connely." That makes sense. I hadn't thought of that one, but yeah,
that's a good pick. You know who my comp for Josh Connely is?
Who?
Trent.
Oh, okay. Well, Trent once he fills out. Connelly's a guard with tackle arms. He's got a lot of filling out to do. Mm-hmm. But once he does, he's going to be a beast. I love that pick for the Commanders. That's a good one.
It's a good pick. Hell of a pick, Commanders.
I also like that they're returning to RFK. I thought that was a good move.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah. Better that than somewhere just... the current stadium is... Yeah.
I live like minutes away. It's trash.
Oh, yeah.
It's trash. Josh Connelly's a good pick for the Commanders, though. They need O-line. They need somebody that's going to help out that. They need somebody that's going to help out that. That new quarterback, that shiny new quarterback they just got. Josh Connelly's a good pick.
Right. And you need an offensive tackle with speed to deal with the Eagles. Yeah. Again, it's somebody thinking about how do we win the division.
Mm-hmm.
And the key game that I would point to for Connelly is he shut out Abdul Carter when they played Penn State.
And because of where they picked him up, he's going to be super affordable in the future.
That too.
I'm saying?
Yeah, but think about it and say, Connelly is probably at the top of the list of who the Niners would have picked at 43 if he had lasted that long.
Mike Green's still out there. Will Johnson's still out there. Maxwell Hariston is still out there. Josh Simmons is still out there.
Shahad, but though I don't think he'll make it. Trey Amos
is still out there.
There's
we're looking at here. Yeah, we're looking at we already said Trey Harris, right? Xavier Watts is out there.
Okay.
Little rich. He was already a second guy. You said Trey Amos already, right?
Yeah.
Does somebody go Travion? Who's got picks left? The Bills need a running back, don't they?
Yeah. He could fit for them. Though I think their bigger need is DB.
All right.
So Buffalo's on the clock. So
Trey Amos.
Hariston, Amos, both of those would make sense for them. Let's see what other team needs the Bills have. Edge, DT.
Trey Amos is still out there. Ariante Arce is still out. Could you imagine if we picked up Ariante at 43? How would you feel about that?
I think that could work, but I don't know if Kyle's willing to take a guy that big. He moves well, though. And they did bring him in for a visit, so they're kicking the tires. He could last 43.
Right.
We'll have to see what happens with Simmons. Okay, so we got Buffalo.
They may go. Do you think that Darius Alexander's a reach at 43? The D tackle out of
no, that's about
Toledo.
Where he's expected to go. He might go a little bit later, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alexander's another player that the Niners looked at, so he's another one at defensive tackle. And then let's take a look going into tomorrow. And yeah, Nolan hasn't been picked yet, or no, Nolan was picked. I'm sorry. So we've got
Tyler Warner's. Go ahead, Tom.
So we've got Alexander, TJ Sanders, Ty Robinson, Joshua Farmer, Omar Narwin Lott. Those would be the guys.
I like TJ Sanders better than all of them.
Me too.
I don't know how he didn't get picked up so early. I really think that this kid's special. TJ Sanders is a problem.
Yeah. The thing I like with him is he's more versatile than people might initially think just looking at the measurables.
Mm-hmm.
He's 306, but he's exceptionally strong and He's got lean muscle mass, and he plays well with leverage. So you could say, well, gee, he's only 306. He's going to get moved around the run game. He doesn't. And he's a good pass rusher. He's got some wiggle. He's got some skills. I would love it if they could get Sanders at 43. I think that'd be a great pick.
Yeah.
Alexander, too. Yeah, Alexander's talented. Either one of those guys, they're doing well. But it'll depend on who's there at tackle and is it somebody they want.
I love the fact that TJ Sanders ran a 4.9.
Damn, man. Moving,
boy. And he from South Cac. We always get them boys from South Carolina, man. We moved on from Debo and Javon, man. We might get us another boy from South Cac.
Yep. Yeah. Here's the other thing. He ran 4.95, but he ran the fastest 10, 167.
TJ a dog, man.
Yeah, he's talented.
Here we go. With the 30th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Maxwell Hariston, cornerback out of UK.
It's
they needed a DB. Smart pick, yeah.
Good value, clear need.
Yeah. What do you think about him? 5'11", 183. He can move, though. 4.2 guy.
Fast, yeah. He's real fast. Now, let's take a look and see what we got for Hariston. He had a formal interview with the Niners, so they were interested. Yeah, 428, 39.5 vertical. Damn.
Jesus.
52% catch rate against.
Mm-hmm.
1 pick, 4 PBUs, 4 forced incompletions. Just a nice player. Solid. A little small, 5'11", 183, but when you run that fast.
My only thing is that sometimes when you get speedster corners like that, it's not even about outrunning them, it's running at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, you can target him in the run game.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that I didn't like about his game. Yeah, he's got to get bigger. So we got to see how they feel. It's so funny that Roger Goodell looks so happy. But little do these guys know that this man makes $52 million a year.
Right. It's a show, folks.
He looks so happy. He's like, oh, you made my car wash budget. Dude, he makes $50 million a year, bruh. That is unfathomable. Yeah. Like he is the world's most highly paid water carrier.
Oh, sure. Gunga Din.
It's like, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Well,
I'm a valet.
I'm a valet for billionaires. I do their bidding, and I know how to take booze with a smile. It's lucrative. Trust me. It pays the bills.
It's a great gig if you can get it.
Yeah, nothing to shake a stick at. I'll tell you.
Oh, man, but you look at the commissioners in sports right now, Silver's the only one that's actually worth something.
Thank you, Mac. In the white shoes, right? Like, I didn't want to say nothing, Maxon, but it's so cringe.
The white shoes. Gee. You're in Green Bay, not Palm Beach.
My wife loves booing him. Hold on, here we go. EMAB. Why are you not excited about the Mikael Williams pick? Talk to me. Because this is going to be a huge conversation tomorrow. You know we're going to chew on this for 24 hours. So we might as well get it out now. What since we've talked about what we love about, what don't you like about the pick? And let's just kind of cruise the chat to figure out how you guys feel about it. What don't you like about the pick? Be honest.
We've already been through why I think people could have some reasons, but let's hear from you and see what they got to say.
I want to hear what the chat has to say, man. Honestly, why? And for those of you who don't like the pick, right? All right. Bradley Brown says he's worried about injuries. Okay. All right. What else you got? Thank you. I want to hear this because I'm doing a show with Grant tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I want to take a pulse of like the faithful. Like, do they truly like this pick, or is it just me? Right? Or is it just us, Tom? Are we just tripping?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what guys have to say about this. Eagles are on the clock. The Eagles just jumped KC.
Oh, KC was at 31.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Got to trade.
They're after somebody.
Got to trade, guys. Trade developing in progress. And what we got is the Eagles just hopped KC for the 31st pick, so they just swapped picks.
Okay. Who would they be worried Kansas City would take ahead of?
John Doe says low sack numbers are concerning. Ty the Kazagi says, I wanted to trade down, to be honest. Rome the Upsetter says it's a trash pick. Big Dad says that the stats worry me, but he likes the pick. Okay, so the production.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that. He played hurt and he wasn't featured.
Bradley Brown says he didn't play every down, and we think he can all of a sudden. He played in a rotation role. Guys, you got to context matters, gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys,
that's
he
by
played
design at Georgia.
Dude, nobody plays all the snaps on a college team like Georgia, guys. This is a loaded team, okay? When you're at Georgia and you get hurt, there's so much talent that you can't help but lose your spot. The fact that this kid played hurt and kept getting put on the field lets you know that they could not afford not to put him on the field. They had to play him. So I think you guys are reading this wrong. What else you guys got? Better not be Nick Young 2.0. Mike Green.
Well, if there's one team that can afford to take Shahad,
Philly.
It's Philly.
Yeah.
They can wait a year and just say, get better.
Sit down.
And then he
I
comes
also
in
think
next
that
year and boom. I think Shahad can be an all-pro. I think he's that.
Me too. I think the world of Jahad Campbell, but I also think that Mike Green is a specialist. He's not necessarily a football player. He's got a lot of moves. He's got a lot of technique. And I love Mike Green, but Mike Green can't stop the run. And I'm worried about him actually being a holistic guy. Now, I think the Eagles could pick him up and take over the Hassan Reddick role.
Yeah, the Eagles have so many roles that they can just plug and play guys, but the more I think about it, the more Shahad makes the most sense for Philly because they can shelve him for a year. They're in a position to do that.
Yeah.
And then when he comes healthy, this guy's
Jalen played a lot better. Jalen played way more snaps than Mikael Williams. They didn't play.
Andy had the defense schemed for him. The scheme was based on feeding Walker.
Walker was let me put it like this to you guys. Had Mikael stayed, they will be doing for Mikael Williams next year what they did for Jalen Walker this year.
Right, exactly.
The only difference is that Mikael Williams was so talented that he was able to get picked up in the first round as Robin, not Batman. So that's what you should understand, is that usually the way colleges work is it wasn't Mikael's time yet. but he still ended up going.
Yeah.
And the Eagles picked up Jihad Campbell.
There it is.
Motherfucker, bro.
Howie's the best. It's just, if there's any example of
this is not fair.
Great GMs proving they are, it's what we've just seen from.
This kid is a problem.
Talk about a guy that forces his way onto the field.
Oh my God. He just turned 20.
Yeah.
He was 19.
Well, Howie's the best. Here we are. But yeah, you look at it and you say, okay, Baltimore, Detroit, Philly. They just proved we're the best GMs in the league. Here you go. Well, here's why.
This is a steal.
Oh, it's theft. It's a ski mask job.
This is a steal from the Eagles. Y'all, you guys don't understand. The Eagles aren't supposed to get Jihad Campbell, man. This is not fair.
No. In a year from now, Jihad Campbell will be a rookie of the year, a defensive rookie of the year.
Man. And then they just lost Nakobe.
All pro. Yeah. And Nakobe.
They just lost Nakobe Dean to injury. Nakobe Dean's coming back. Hey, bruh. They just got Fred Warner, man. They just got their Fred Warner. The Eagles always struggle with linebackers, bro. Always.
Until now. Damn. Because if there's one guy that we agreed on completely, it was Jihad until the injuries and the surgery. You and I both thought, all pro, this guy's going to be amazing. And now he goes to Philly and he doesn't even have to play next year.
He doesn't even have to play.
Yeah.
This
and who's the best in the league at shelving a guy for a year and then putting him on the field and he destroys people?
Philadelphia. Jihad Campbell just does everything, man. He got to Alabama as a defensive end. He wasn't even a linebacker.
Right.
He didn't even take his hand out of the dirt until he got to Alabama. And he's another Mikael Williams where he started at defensive end, then they put him at Sam, then they had to put him at Will. And the reason why is because he was so talented, they could not keep him off the field. They had to invent a role for him just to keep him on the field. Eagles got better today, man. I mean, the Eagles got better. The Talik Williams to Detroit and Jihad Campbell to Philly.
And Mikael Williams to the Niners. I would say that those
Mikael Williams to the Niners. I tell you. But if there was some other picks where I just, I wanted to see some people struggle. The Eagles getting Campbell at 31 is unreal.
That's enormous value.
They went up one pick.
Yeah.
One pick.
And they've got all kinds of draft assets for the next 2 years.
They showing their ass, ain't they, Des?
Coming out of it, yeah. Exactly right, Des. Exactly right. But I think you can argue that's the best value pick of the draft so far.
Listen to this kid talk, man.
I thought, who out of this draft is going to be an all-pro? If I had to put my money down right now, it'd be on Jihad Campbell.
Jihad. He's from there too.
Right.
He's from Jersey.
Howie Roseman does it again. He
this
is.
This reminds me of all over again? His enthusiasm, his zeal. Look how he's taking the mic out of her hand. Like she's talking to him and he's like taking the mic out of her hand. He reminds me, you remember how geeked Nolan Smith was to be drafted by the Eagles?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
This is him right here. He's showing personality. Look at this kid. Man,
good for him. He's
got so much personality, bro.
Yeah. He's
a good one. He's a good one.
Write a better scenario for himself than this. If Jihad had any team in the league, Philly.
Eagles always seem to get those cool. They always seem to get those cool guys, man, like those real normal football players. You know what I mean? Like they're ball players, but they're normal guys. This is the last pick of the draft. KC's up right now. God, Jahad Campbell.
Damn, man.
That one hurts, Tom.
It does. It hurts more than Tyleek.
The pick's in. 30-second pick. Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Simmons.
Yeah.
The tackle out of O State.
That was rumored. So there go both tackles that the Niners were most interested in at 43. There's still Ursary left, but he's the only one. And you got a lot of teams needing a tackle who are going to be picking ahead of the Niners.
There's nobody that knows how to scout and develop O-line like Andy Reid.
Yep. That's where he specializes. Well, he knows the talent. He sees Josh Simmons and says, that's the best tackle in the draft. And he is. But a patellar tendon injury is a time bomb. The risk of re-injury is huge. But they're a team that's saying, okay, we're a now team. We're not going to be worried about if Josh Simmons gets hurt again down the road. We're worried about how do we perform over the next 2 years. Their Super Bowl window is still open, so Josh Simmons makes sense within that context.
Hell of a pick for Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they got Jalen Moore in free agency.
Yeah, they got their bases covered, which they needed to do.
Man. Philly got Jahad Campbell. That one hurts.
That's brutal.
Hey, so what do you think about the draft so far, man? This is it. We've already we made it through. Got through the whole draft. Night one is in the books. Let's just go ahead and start off with the top to bottom, right? Cam Ward, Tennessee Titans. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars. Abdul Carter, New York Giants. Will Campbell, New England Patriots. Mason Graham, Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Browns. Ted McMillan, Carolina Panthers. Calvin Banks Jr., tackle out of Texas for the New Orleans Saints. Colston Loveland, number 10 pick overall. That was surprising.
Smart.
Niners go ahead and get Mikael Williams, edge from Georgia. I love it. Tyler Booker out of Alabama for Dallas. Kenneth Grant, D tackle out of Michigan, 13. Tyler Warren, 14th overall to Penn State. Jalen Walker, edge out of Georgia. Pick 15 for Atlanta. Pick 16, defensive tackle Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. Pick 17, Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M to the Bengals. Pick 18, the Seattle Seahawks select Gray Zable, guard out of North Dakota State. Pick 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick Egbuka, receiver out of Ohio State. Pick 20, Denver picks up Jade Barron, DB out of Texas. This is the surprise over them all. 21 overall, Steelers select Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Chargers pick up Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina.
Good
Matt
pick.
Golden gets picked up out of 23 overall by Green Bay. 24th overall, Donovan Jackson, guard out of Ohio State, gets picked up by Minnesota Vikings. 25 overall, there's a trade up. Giants come back into the first round and select Jackson Dart, 25th overall. 26th overall, James Pierce Jr. gets picked up by the Atlanta Falcons. 27th overall, the Baltimore Ravens select the number one safety in the draft, Malachi Starks out of Georgia. 28 overall, this one hurt. Talik Williams, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Detroit, 29th overall. Washington Commanders pick up offensive tackle Josh Connely out of Oregon. Pick 30, Bills select Max Hariston, cornerback out of Kentucky. Pick 31, Eagles select Jihad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. And 32, Kansas City Chiefs select Josh Simmons, tackle, Ohio State. Tom, give us your closing remarks.
I think the Niners did well. They had to set a foundation for what this defense is going to do going forward with Saleh. What's your identity? And now we're seeing the first piece of that being solved. Saying, okay, our identity is that the wide nine needs to evolve to the point where our edges are much better at setting the edge against the run. And once that happens, how do I build my defense around that skill set? And that's the story for tomorrow. So the Niners had, in my opinion, their best first-round pick in years in Michael. I've got issues with him. I've got problems with the speed. I want to know if he was healthy when he ran it into you or not. To me, that's a real key, because if he only runs 477, that's an issue. But for what they need, he brings it, and it's what he does best, and that's a great thing. So you look at it within the division. The Rams traded out. Seattle got Zable, who they were expected to get, and the Cardinals got Nolan. So teams are figuring out this is how we think we can compete in the division, and I think what the Niners did today was an important step forward for them. I like what they did. But now you look at the rest of the NFL in the larger picture, and you see Philly taking Jihad Campbell means the Eagles are going to be a real problem for a long time. And that's Howie Roseman. Baltimore with a great pick. Detroit with a great pick.
Yeah.
Now, the Lions are another team that's going to be an issue in the NFC after this. That's a great value pick for them, and in a way that really helps that defense. They have to move on after losing Aaron Glenn, but part of the foundation for Detroit is having Brad Graham, or Brad Holmes, where he can make that pick and solidify the entire team. So I look at this and say that the teams that we're expecting to compete for the Super Bowl improve themselves, but the Niners, for the first time in a while, have finally made a great pick in the first round that sets the foundation for what the identity of this defense will be going forward. That's a great thing.
I love the pick. I like the fact that the Niners kept it simple. They didn't outthink themselves. They didn't try to trade back and do anything. They went into this draft with some clear needs, and they handled one. They had one pick. That means they could only handle one need. That's what they did. Nothing more, nothing less. I want us to kind of be where our feet are. Niners get a little too cute with, the process. So one of the biggest things that I loved is being able to just do the little things, we've seen it. You could throw a country mile, but if you can't throw a quick out route, I can't use you. You know what I mean? So exactly. The Niners got to make the easy look easy. And this pick was an easy pick, and they did it. So I'm happy. I'm going to call Larry, Keith, because I've been hearing all through my chat that Larry didn't like the pick. So I want to hear what they got to say. But I love the pick. This kid ain't no Robert Bill Jr. You ain't got eyes if you think he's Robert Bill Jr.
No.
So, hey, man.
Robert Bill Jr. is a one-trick pony. Michael Williams is a complete ball player.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what they're talking about, but hey, man, look, this is another good draft. I have been up since 6:00 this morning. I'm tired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this was another great one. Tom, I want everybody to know how much Tom was an assistant, was an assistance and support to me throughout this entire show. The graphics, putting up the player cards. Tom, I want to thank you. Were amazing, man. So just thank you, brother, for looking out.
Thank you, Coach. And thank you for setting the bar so high and working so hard to make this really come together. This was a great quality show, and you made it happen. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here by your side and to tell the story of the draft. And we get to tell a great story because they finally got it right.
Yeah, man. Tom, your class personified. You know, you elevate not only do you elevate me, but you elevate the platform. You know, everybody here loves you. You know, people pile in here to hear your insight, what you have to bring as well as mine. And good show, partner. It was a good show.
Great stuff. Look forward to tomorrow. Hey, guys.
Yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow for the second round. Same old place, same old faces. And guys, this is the coach, and this is Tom. Stay low and keep your feet moving.